Warning, facepalm protection level 99 in effect. Do not send me any more lawsuits.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible.
No, I'm Mr. Sensible.
When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first, full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon onto the stratosphere in page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're Mr.
fruitcake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need the hassle of burying Flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognise the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth, spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe your musical assault knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realise you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of a boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit
Can we
loop short of
pretend
a
that
full bowl.
airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I rit up on your mum's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you taught a water level. Sit and swivel, you nasal gazing muppet. You can stuff it harder than the water stuff like Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sauces unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Spitting fire.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I am FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity one F-22 Raptor did to a Chinese spy balloon. I mean a civilian communication weather satellite that got blown off course, honest. Yeah, we know what you're up to. Sneaky, sneaky. Anyway, who knew that you needed to hear FTFE rap, right? I mean... I apologise. I'm very, very sorry, guys. Welcome back to another show. Today we're going to go over to Brother Sanchez's channel. Quite a large following over Brother Sanchez's channel. He's usually got 1,500 plus people watching as well, which is always fun. And it's going to be a call-in show. He's going to have people join in. I'm going to have a little bit of fun on my own for, say, half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I will chuck the link to join for you guys in the chat as well. So that will be fun. But let's just go and say hello. Hopefully Brother Sanchez is ready to go over on his end. Brother Sanchez, are you there? Well, he was. Why can't I hear Brother Sanchez? Ah, right, I know why.
I hear you.
There we
fam.
go. Hello, Brother Sanchez. Sorry, I fixed my audio.
All right. There we go. There we go. So you finished your intro, and
Yes,
we
I
are
have.
live on, and we are live on my end. And let me just let me give them a little, rundown of what's going on here on my end. Like I was saying, people, Craig basically reached out to me, and he was basically saying, we should make it a call-in show. And one thing I'll say is that's brave, because he know that a lot of flat earthers gonna be kind of jumping on him. He's gonna be outnumbered. But I did watch some of Craig's shows where they're titled like Craig debates a panel full of flat earthers. Craig,
Yeah,
you getting your Royal Rumble. Yeah. So
I
look,
mean,
if that's
I do agree with you that it's not fair. I agree that there's a lot more of you than me, and there's still not enough of you. You're right. It's not fair.
He said it's still not enough of us. Y'all, this is too much cockiness, man. I hope Craig ate his doggone Wheaties, man. I hope he ate his Wheaties, man. And we're going to see, because he got a lot of confidence. Salutes to the people on his side. We're going to have a good bill. And salutes to the people who joining on my side. And thank you once again, Craig, for stepping up for it. I'm going to let you guys take it over. Casual roundtable.
Yeah, I'm happy to come and talk to you guys, bro. It's always quite fun. The people I talk to on Discord, those shows, they're a very particular type of people, and your group of people, it's a kind of a different group of flat earthers with different kind of thoughts to the people in the Discord server. So it's nice to come here and have some different opinions to talk to. But yeah, any of you guys here, flat earthers, if you've got questions for me, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say salutes to my people, AJ Davis, the OG, One World, One Hood, and Felix Offer. Welcome to the show. I'm going to mute my flow, and I'll let them bomb away, and I'll drop the link for more people to join. Craig, you can drop my link on your side, too, if you want any of your guys to join.
Yeah, I said I'll have a chat with you guys on my own for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I'll drop the link in my side so more people from my side can join as well.
Okay.
Cool. One World, you want to go first? I'll go. I just got a quick question real fast, really, man. When we talk about we talk about curvature, we talk about also the spin of the Earth, and science says the Earth's spinning pretty fast, 1,000 miles per hour is pretty fast, right? And I'm wanting to know,
fast compared to what?
1,000 miles per hour is 1,000. That's kind of where I wanted to go, with that. So, they say because it's so big that 1,000 miles per hour is different. But I'm trying to figure out what's the difference. So if you have a golf ball, a basketball, and a giant ball the size of a truck spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, which one is spinning faster?
Well,
Are they all spinning at the same speed?
the thing is, you can't spin in miles per hour, so there's a little bit of confusion around forces involved here. Let me ask you a question so that we can get on the same page. Which part of
How
the
can you
Earth?
not spin? How can you not spin in miles per hour?
Because that's a measure of linear velocity. You measure rotation in things like RPM or or degrees per minute or radians per minute and things like that. So when you say 1,000 miles an hour, which part of the Earth do you think is moving 1,000 miles an hour according to science?
Let's say the equator. Let's say it's the equator.
So how fast then would the poles be moving?
My thing is that at what point can you actually notice 1,000 miles per hour? At what distance are you able to see 1,000 miles per hour?
Well,
If you were to draw a line,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
if you were to draw a line, like I said, on a golf ball, and you draw a line on a medicine ball, and you draw a line on a huge ball, a red line, and you spin all of them as fast as the Earth is spinning, wouldn't they all have a red line eventually zoom past you?
Well, if you were to spin them as fast as the Earth, if you were to spin them as fast as the Earth was spinning, then each of them would take 24 hours to do one revolution, because that's how fast the Earth is spinning. The Earth is spinning at 0.000694 RPM. It takes 24 hours to spin 360 degrees. So if we were to take a golf ball, a basketball, and the Earth and spin them all at the same speed, they would all take 24 hours to do one revolution.
But what if I'm talking at the same speed that the Earth is spinning?
Yeah. The Earth is spinning. The Earth takes 24 hours to do 360 degrees.
Spinning?
At the Earth is spinning at 0.0000694 revolutions per minute. That's how fast the Earth is spinning.
So how does that equal to 1,000 miles per hour?
Because the equator has a tangential velocity of 1,000 miles an hour because it's such a large radius. The surface of the Earth at the equator is moving in a straight line at 1,000 miles an hour. But your body and humans in general don't have an ability to feel a constant motion. What we have the ability to feel is an acceleration, forces applied. And at the equator, the force applied by the movement of the Earth equates to about 0.3 meters per second squared, which is 0.03% of the gravitational acceleration pulling you down. So the only thing you would notice is that force pushing you away from the Earth. That's called centrifugal acceleration. The 1,000 miles an hour is a constant movement in a straight line, which we have no way of detecting. So your question
that's
about
why I said put a big red line. They put a big red line down a ball, almost like a ball, like when you playing pool, like stripes, right? And you spin that ball at a speed, right? Eventually, you're gonna see that ball zoom past you, right? Now I can understand a golf ball taking longer than a marble would to make the rotation, right? How long it takes the rotation is one thing, but how fast it's moving is another. So even though the Earth is supposedly huge, right? It's still supposedly spinning, like science says, at 1,000 miles per hour.
No.
So
the tangential velocity is 1,000 miles an hour. The science doesn't say it's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Science says the Earth spins once every 24 hours, 0.00694 RPM. And that means that at different points on the Earth, there is different tangential velocities. And again, that 1,000 miles per hour, this is the important part, right? That 1,000 miles an hour is a... Yeah, okay. So at the equator, that 1,000 miles an hour, that's a constant velocity, right? And we do not have a biological function that detects a constant motion. No matter how fast it's going, it doesn't matter. If that movement is constant, we have no way of detecting that. So the 1,000 miles an hour doesn't really matter. There's no way
No
we
way
can detect
detecting
that.
it because
It's a
why?
constant
Wow.
motion. There's no vestibular system in our bodies. There is nothing that detects a constant motion. What we can
So what does
detect
cops-
is an
so what do cops-
acceleration.
We understand.
What do cops use whenever they hit you with the meter?
They use a radar which will tell you how fast something is moving based on the amount of time that light takes to get there and back. That's our body is not a radar. We have nothing in our bodies that can detect a constant motion. There is just no biological function that does that.
I'm gonna yield the floor. Y'all go ahead.
I just wanted to chime in because over here, Google tells me that the Earth rotates once every 23 hours, 56 minutes,
Yeah.
and 4.09053 seconds, called a period, and its circumference is roughly 40,000 kilometers. Thus, the surface of the Earth at the equator moves at a speed of 460 meters per second,
Yep.
or 1,000 miles per hour.
Correct. That's exactly what we've just said. The surface of the Earth is moving at that speed. The Earth isn't rotating at that speed. That's just the tangential velocity at that point on the Earth. So-
That's the
Yeah,
The Earth's
you notice that Google
speed
doesn't
says
say
1,000 miles an
that
hour.
the Earth spins at 1,000 miles an hour because you can't spin in miles per hour. When you're in your car, look at your rev counter. What's that measuring in? RPM. Your miles per hour is a measure of your linear velocity, of how fast you're going in a straight line. And
It doesn't have to
even
be
the car
miles per
doesn't really
hour.
have a
You
way
could-
to
yeah.
measure that linear velocity, right? Your car doesn't know you're going that fast. The way your car measures linear velocity is by estimating how many times the wheels have gone round in a certain amount of time. So there's no way to really measure a linear velocity on its own, especially not within the body.
What about GPS?
Yeah, our bodies don't have GPS.
I just have a simple
I'm
question.
saying,
Okay.
you saying there's no way to make the measurement. GPS is an actual system used to make that exact measurement, not
Well,
on our body, but on Earth. Correct.
Again, it doesn't have a way to measure a linear velocity. It would estimate linear velocity based on two different positions taken in time. So it would say, right, you're here at one point, now you're here at another point, you've traveled X miles per hour. GPS doesn't measure your constant velocity.
Hey, I'm curious because when I was hearing you talk about the poles spinning before,
Yeah.
can you elaborate what you meant by the poles spinning? Like what do you mean by pole? And how does it spin?
The North Pole and the South Pole, just like the rest of the Earth, they spin at 0.00694 RPM. But whereas at the equator, there's a tangential velocity of 1,000 miles an hour, at the North and South Pole, the tangential velocity is 0.
No, well, I don't understand what you mean by pole. You mean like a literal
North and
pole?
South Pole. The North and
what is-
South
what
of the
is-
globe. Yeah.
What is that? That's like a stick, coming like a pole coming out of the ground.
No, just
measuring.
just the point
What is that?
on Earth called the geographical North and South Pole. It's just the point where the Earth's axis of rotation goes through it. You want me to?
Because we kind of know it as a pole being a short word for polarity, where that's a north and a south polarity, not like saying.
It's
not
just
like
called.
what
It's
we're
just the
just
place
saying.
where you know what the North Pole
Well,
is,
the Earth
right?
is a magnet, yes.
Well, there's the geographical North Pole is different to the magnetic North Pole.
Right.
The Earth's axis of rotation is the points where the Earth, if we're looking at this, the ball, that's the South Pole, and that's the South Pole, that's the North Pole. That's where it rotates. That's I mean, I don't understand why I'm having to explain what the North and South Pole is.
Because I totally, you know, what I see North and South Pole as these polarities, you know what I'm saying, and that our compass points to, you know what I'm saying. That's why we use
they're
the
not
North Pole. You know what I'm saying. We use a compass that aims us towards north. This is how we move around in here. So you know, I just don't get the part that you're saying. I understand, like, if I didn't know how to actually use a compass.
Right. If you're standing at the point of Earth where all longitude lines intersect in the north, you would be at the North Pole, the geographical North Pole, the north of the planet, the point where if you were standing there and the Earth is rotating, you would just be standing still, rotating in a circle. And that's different to the magnetic North Pole, which is actually moving across northern Canada at the moment, which is the point where the Earth's magnetic field, you know, intersects and flows towards, which is what a compass follows. It follows the flow of a magnetic field. Do you understand that there's two different North Poles, the geographic and the magnetic? Does that make sense to you?
Oh, you know, no, I totally understand that.
Well, there you go.
See, what happens
cleared
is
up.
that what we're talking about is that's as far as you can go on land north. You know what I'm saying? We call that would be geographical north. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, correct. If you kept going in a straight line, you would then be going south.
You know what I'm saying? And when we draw a circle out and we go to the center and we point in and out, that's how we do this on a map. And you know what I'm saying, that kind of works out. All of this works out. Even
what's your point here, bud?
North, because you've took this same math and you've put it on a ball, and
what math did I take?
There's no way for you. Hold on. On a ball, on a globe, there's no way to go through the center of the globe to be able to know the distance. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this can only work on a map where we can measure the distance, the circumference, and the diameter. But for you to do that on a globe that we can't penetrate more than, you know what I'm saying, more than 8 miles. For us to come up with this math on how
we don't travel through the Earth. We travel on the surface of the Earth.
Right. So there's no way to do these things.
To do what?
For you to
there's no way to do what?
We need to. Don't we have to come up with the radius and the diameter of the circle before we can come up with the, you know what I'm saying? Don't we have, this is math that we have to come up with, that we need to go through the center of this to be able to come up with a math? How do we come up with this math for the globe that we can't?
What math are you talking about in particular? I'm very confused. You haven't really made a point.
He's saying that. Let me see if I can simplify, and maybe I'm getting him wrong, but he can clarify. I think he's saying to properly measure a sphere, at some point you would have to slice through it.
No, not necessarily. You can measure it from the surface.
So, but based on the debate that y'all having about the poles, will that be relevant to slice through it and get it?
Not really, no. My point about the poles was simply that if we're because we were talking about the rotation of the Earth, you know, not the measurements of the Earth, and we were talking about the 1,000 miles an hour, which is a specific thing to the equator, but at the poles it's 0 miles an hour. That was my point. That's all, and the semantic arguments about what the poles are is kind of irrelevant.
No, it's all good. I think y'all having a good bill. Everybody hit the like, the share button. Hey, Craig, let me ask you, how did they come up with the 1,000 miles per hour? Because I remember when you was saying, you know, if you traveling in a straight line, you really can't measure the speed or detect it or whatever. Because the brother brought up the police gun and all of that. But that made me curious as to how did they originally come up with the 1,000 miles per hour to begin with? Just, you know, if you want to start back there.
Well, if we know the Earth is rotating once every 24 hours and the circumference, you know, the radius of Earth...
That's what I was doing. I knew you would go there. And see, my thing with that is, what we're saying on a flat Earth is that the sun and the moon is making their circuits every 24 hours above a stationary Earth. And we coming out, we can have this same phenomena accurately on a flat Earth as well. So my thing is that when you say that at the North Pole, there's basically no motion. No,
there's no tangential velocity. There's still the same 0.000694 RPM, but there's no tangential velocity because you're standing at the point on the sphere where
I got you.
You would just be going around in a circle on the spot.
I got you. So you're saying I totally understand what you're saying, but my thing is with the flat Earth, that would be Polaris, and it said that Polaris is spinning just the way you just said it, but it's not moving from its center position. It's like the pole in the middle of a carousel, and all of the constellations are tethered to that pole, just like a carousel, all of the stars. And as Polaris turns in the middle, it actually churns all of the luminaries around it, just like a carousel and or a swing chair ride, you know, at the fairground going around.
There is an issue with that.
So one thing before we go to the issue. One thing I want to point out is the same thing you're saying about what happens at 0 degrees on a globe. We're saying the same thing for the flat Earth, but we don't need the Earth to be in motion. We can have the Earth stationary and all of this still be true. That's the whole point.
If the Earth was flat, and the things were rotating over us, maybe. But the issue is with the shape that these stars make. If the Earth was flat and you were at the North Pole looking up at Polaris, obviously they would be circular like they are on the globe. But if you were to move away from that, because it forms a circle at the center, as you moved away, that the circles would become an oval. That if the Earth was flat, that's what you would expect to see as you move away. Let me finish. Give me a chance.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Let me finish though. Right. This is how shapes work. If you've got a circle that's directly above you and you move away from it, the circle will change from being a circle to an oval based on your perspective of looking at it. That is what you would expect to happen on a flat Earth if at that point on the North Pole the stars were directly over you spinning. But that doesn't happen. That's not what we see in reality.
Okay,
there's many things about the stars that happen.
You know, I was allowing. Don't do this today, Craig. Allow me to get my mic back.
I know. I was just. That was literally. That was all. That was it. I was finishing there.
Okay, right. But check this out. Here's the point. Here's what we see: time lapse imagery of stars above a flat Earth. Just like a carousel, just like I explained earlier. I'm not going to complicate this. I'm just going to be very simple here and make my point, guys. That's what it's all about. I brought up the carousel earlier. If you look at the way that the ceiling of the carousel is designed, you know what it resembles? Now, let me cook a minute, right? I've been listening. Let me cook a minute. This goes back to another debate me and Craig had, where he can't explain to me why there isn't 2 zodiac wheels on the globe. Because and I don't want him, and I don't want him to interrupt me. But guess what? I want to make me a quick argument, and then I'm gonna fall back. On the globe, if you got people at the top of the globe looking directly up, like he said, and if they're at 0 degrees, even on a globe, they would see something similar to this. They will have a central star to match that pole, just like they say it should be in the South Pole. And you would have this phenomena, and they said want to go clockwise, want to go counterclockwise. They call that the Coriolis effect. We get it. My thing is you need to hold on for a second, Craig. And I'm
sorry, I thought it was my bad.
Oh no, you fine. I just want to be clear here.
Yeah.
On a globe, you would need 2 wheels, guys. There's just no way around it. And what I want to do, I'm gonna share again. I want to share this again. I thought I wouldn't need it again. I should have saved it there, but this is what I'm going to share. Actually, I'll get that on my next go around. I don't want to look for it while y'all waiting. I can just demonstrate with my mouse. So on a globe, right, you would need a zodiac wheel above here looking like a halo. And you would need one at the bottom. Now, guess what, y'all? You would need one on the sides, too. Because everyone's up is different on a globe. Well, you know, when they look up, they seeing a different, you know, view of the sky. So what I'm saying is we only have one zodiac wheel. And the zodiac wheel that we have is a circle. If to me, just dealing with the zodiac wheel and the way that the sky is set up, for this to work on a globe, we would need a whole cup, like we said, a whole globe is covered in different constellations, three-dimensional, spherical, all the way around it. Meaning anyone on opposing sides of a sphere won't look up and see the same sky. On a flat Earth, if that's just let's pull up the AE map, which is one of the maps we use. If you got this below, and you got this above, that you don't need nothing else. Stow Valiant, stay muted when I mute you guys. That'll get you booted off. So check this out, guys. You don't need nothing else with this wheel. You don't need nothing else. And the way that we see the design of this zodiac wheel, this was a staple in all of the ancient religious arts, because we know that everyone started off with flat earth or ancient cosmology. So this will go into how even the ancient people, you know, saw the heavens. And it's very simple. And I'm gonna land my plane with this next for the people out there who need to see it from a religious perspective. Jesus, right, was considered the most high. And the most high star in the sky is what? Polaris. All of the other stars, they revolve around Polaris. That will be Christ. We see Christ as Capricorn today, but that was because of a change that was made. I'm not going to go into the whole history, but I'm just pointing y'all somewhere to research if you out there. But I'm a yield right here. This zodiac wheel is one zodiac wheel above one flat earth, as above, so below. Let thy will be done in heaven as it is on earth. And they both are wheels. Yeah, right. Yeah, but so, hold on.
Sorry, can I respond? Or?
You have this thing where you just can't. I'm almost there. I'm about to climax. Please pause. Don't cut me off at that point. That's the best part. You do all the stroking to get there. Now watch this, Craig. We know will is W-I-L-L, but I'm teaching you etymology. They both coincide when you're dealing with when the Bible talk about Ezekiel's will, the will of God is talking about the tetragrammaton. It's talking about the vibratory form of our desire energy, the energy that makes us desire your willpower. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not going to go that deep because that'll go into like spiritual debates and stuff. I don't think you ready to debate me on no religious stuff. You better stick to the shape of the earth with that, Craig. So I'm a yield right there.
Okay, cool. So I already told you why you're wrong about the zodiac wheel. The zodiac is based on stars around the equatorial plane, so you can see them from any point on the earth. So when you need one, but they just look different based on where you are on the earth. Also, you're wrong about the fact there's only one zodiac wheel. I've actually got a file of like 12 different zodiac wheels from different cultures around the world. I don't know why you keep pushing that argument when it is plainly false. The zodiac wheel that we use now is based on stars that you can see around the equator, which means that from any point on the earth, you'll be able to see them. We only need one. But none of that, this original question came from about rotation and why can't we feel the 1,000 miles an hour? Because you don't feel constant velocity, but we've measured the earth rotating. We know the earth rotates, and no talk about zodiac wheels or stars moving is going to change the fact that we have physically measured the rotation of the earth.
But to go back to that, then you mentioned we can't feel it. You know, you can't tell me what I can't feel. I know when I feel wind.
Hold on, let me respond to him real quick.
Okay.
He said we physically measured the rotation of the earth.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him that they physically measured the rotation of the heavens. And what they're saying,
there's no way a pendulum can measure the rotation of the heavens.
No. And I ain't saying that they measured the rotation of the heavens with a pendulum. I'm telling you that the numbers they're giving us are, we can prove is true for the heavens. Now that's when it goes, when I was saying about the religious aspect, when they say, let thy will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Now, if you look at what they saying for the numbers that they're giving you for how the earth is moving, it's really what's going on in the heavens. That's the point that I'm making.
Except I have personally physically measured the rotation of the earth. So I know the earth is rotating, and it's nothing to do with the stars. A pendulum can't see the stars, it's going to be in no way affected by the stars.
Share your measurements and research with us.
I did last time. I explained to you all about how I used the pendulum measured the rotation of the earth.
Wait a minute. If I ask you something, I know you did it last time, but it's a new crowd. There's new people here. They didn't see that. It's new people.
Before I get into the methodology, the other guy that you cut off was trying to ask a question. So could we let him ask his question first?
Well, I didn't cut him off. He wouldn't let me respond to you. So now, for sure, after I've responded to you, he can ask his question. And I want you to stay respectful.
Yeah, no, I'm being perfectly respectful, bro. It felt like you cut him off a bit. That's all I was saying. Sorry, what was your name, dude, that I was talking to?
You talking about me?
Yeah. What was your name, bud?
This Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah. What was your question, my friend?
So it was. So you mentioned we can't feel it. Okay. I'm not gonna go with that, but I'm trying. And you said we measured it, but why can't we see it? Like we know when something is fast, it's moving fast. No matter how big it is, if it's moving fast, it's moving fast. And
see it from where though?
Any kind of thing. Let's just stick with the equator. I'm not even gonna want to do all the other stuff.
Yeah, but if you're on the equator, you're moving with it, aren't you? So
you're cutting him off, Craig. You're cutting him off.
I apologize. I thought I was responding to him. I don't mean to cut him off. I just want to make sure I'm responding to each point. That's all.
1,000 miles per hour. I want to know why I can't see 1,000 miles per hour in any kind of way. Like a line should be. If a line's going past me 1,000 miles per hour, it's gonna be some sort of movement, some sort of line, something I can measure, something moving fast. Like it doesn't make any sense that I can't see something moving 1,000 miles per hour. Like I'm not gonna go about the whole hovering. Why can't we see it when we jump up and the ground doesn't move? I'm talking about. That's why I asked in the beginning. At what point? Distance, how far do we have to be up to be able to see something, mountains flying by me 1,000 miles per hour?
Okay, so the thing is, you're on the Earth. So you and the Earth are both moving at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
So how far do I got to get up to see a mountain shoot past me 1,000 miles per hour?
Well, you would have to not be rotating with the Earth for that to happen. You would have to be in a stationary position.
So how far do I have to get up to me to be out of whatever the Earth got me stuck in? If it's the atmosphere, how far out of the atmosphere do I got to be up?
I don't know. Well, I don't know the exact amount of distance you would have to go up to. But if you just went straight up, you would still have the rotational velocity of Earth. So, and the further away you got from something, if something 1,000 miles away is moving at 1,000 miles an hour, to you it's not really going to look like it's moving very fast. Does that make sense? You can look at a plane in the sky, right? That plane is moving at 500, 700 miles an hour. But to you, it just looks like it's moving slowly across the sky because it's really far away. So the further away you get from something, the slower it appears to be traveling because of how far away you are. You get that, right?
I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate that's the excuse is we have to be up so far for us to not be with the gravitational pull. Like, I don't understand how that works.
You're always in the gravitational pull.
How I can't just hover. We got balloons. We got planes. We got helicopters
Sorry.
that can literally hover, right? And for some
Oh,
reason,
right. Sorry, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I'm stuck in this, stuck in some sort of atmospheric pressure gel where I'm in place and I'm moving the exact speed as the Earth is moving, and that doesn't make sense to me. Like, and that's why I'm asking: at what point can I get out of that, right, and see that thing spinning down below me?
So, helicopters and balloons, they can create a force in the opposite direction, and they rotate with the Earth because the atmosphere is also rotating with the Earth. You would have to get completely outside of the atmosphere and cancel the rotational velocity that you already have, which means putting a force in the other way. I don't know the exact numbers where that would happen, but that's not something we expect to see. So,
International Space Station, could we see that from the ISS potentially?
Well, no, because the ISS is orbiting the Earth, once every 45 minutes.
From the moon, would that be something we could visualize from the moon?
If you were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth, you would see it rotate once in 24 hours. The equator would have a tangential velocity of 1,000 miles an hour, but looking at it from the moon, it would look like it was hardly moving, because remember, the entire Earth is rotating once every 24 hours.
Okay, so check this out. Is there any camera that you know of, that you've seen, that has actually watched the Earth spin for 24 hours?
Loads. I mean, between 1992 and 2002, DirecTV had a live 24-hour stream from Discover Satellite showing the Earth rotating. You could just watch it live. Himawari 8, you can look at it. It takes a picture every 10 minutes. There's, you've got Discover satellites at the moment that you could show the Earth rotate. There's lots of satellites out there that are constantly monitoring the Earth.
Hey, Craig, I got two questions for you.
Yeah,
you said the ISS is in the gravitational field of the Earth. Is that what you said, correct?
Well, yeah, of course it is. That's why it's orbiting the Earth.
How are they experiencing no gravitation inside the ISS? Like, how are they?
They are. They're experiencing about 88% of the gravity we do, but they're falling towards the Earth.
I got you. And second question: the velocity you were speaking about, the velocity is taking place at the equator. Is that the same
the tangential velocity? Yeah.
From the North and South Pole, would that same velocity be? Would it be as an effect at the North or South Pole?
Well, no. At the North and South Pole, the tangential velocity is 0.
So is it just the velocity is 0, or are you saying there's no rotation going on?
No, I know the tangential velocity is 0. The rotational velocity is the same as at the equator, which is 0.0000694 RPM.
I just wanted to understand what you were saying. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, no worries.
And if you guys have questions, hold on. You guys have questions to get an order going, if y'all can raise y'all hands like these guys are doing, that'll be good so we can get some order going. And if you're in the chat room with all of these questions, I will ask those too if y'all don't want to join. So before I go to the next hand, I want to read this pinned comment from another globalist. Oh, matter of fact, one word that you want to interject before I read that.
I just wanted a quick question, just so I can get a visual here. Are we on the Earth or are we in the Earth? Because I noticed the way we're all talking, and I think we're having a slight variation. So if you can explain that to me.
We are on the surface of the Earth.
So you got us on the Earth. You don't see
on
us
the surface of the Earth. No, we're inside the Earth's atmosphere. But
okay,
we live on the surface of the Earth.
Wait a minute. So what you call the atmosphere is the sphere of. I can understand that that's the Earth's sphere, but we're not doubting that Earth has a sphere. We're saying that we live in the Earth's sphere on top of flat land. You know what I'm saying? And in between that flat land is level water. We call that sea level. You know what I mean? These things is like a real, you know, anybody knows that water is flat. Water doesn't curve. You
Water's
have to
not
cool
flat,
off.
actually.
Water's not flat.
No, actually, it's measured curved. So the thing about
So
water
who
is that,
who has a
like
measured
any other
sea
matter,
curvature?
hold on, let me explain that for
I
you.
think we will have to be honest and say that water is no shape but the shape of its container.
Well, no, water is the shape of forces acting on it. Like any matter, water just
Wow.
conforms to forces acting upon it. That's what water does. Like any matter, a container gives force that makes it have a shape, but you can have other forces that aren't necessarily a container that give water its shape. On Earth, the shape of water is decided by the forces acting on it. The main force is the one created by
Okay.
gravity.
Okay.
But we know that the water has been measured curved because there's things called tow tanks, which is what you use to test hydrodynamics of ships and stuff. And they're massive basins full of water with tow rails on that can bring ships in and test them. Let me finish my point, please. And there's engineers that work on these, and the rails that go above the water that have to bring the things on have to be exactly level to the water. They have to have the same distance above the water at every single point. And when they measure it, they find the rail is actually curved, which means the water underneath it is curved, and the curve matches the predicted arc of the curve of the Earth.
So you telling me when a bridge is basically arched, it's not a straight line because it would have to, like
Bridges
you
are
said,
normally arched, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying the legs that's running down into the ground, like you said, over time on the globe, where the arch is, those legs would be smaller. So I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you everything. Yeah, I can draw it out if you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm telling you that a person building a bridge for 50 miles, let's say, he's got to account for curvature. He just can't build a straight line bridge on a globe Earth. He's got to arch that bridge around the surface of a curve, and even if it's the most minute increments, those adjustments would be
massive engineering
for.
projects. Yeah, they do take into account the curvature of
So,
the Earth. Like
can
the
I
Venice
finish?
scenarios.
Can I finish?
So
Can
sorry,
I
I apologize. I apologize.
Okay, so what we were saying about the water being in a container, you said there are other things that can give water shape besides a container, but you didn't really explain that in detail. I ain't gonna say that the explanation you gave was satisfactory at all. And if you want to say
What do
that
you mean?
gravity is, hold on, just let me finish. I'm saying, I'm asking, we was talking about water in a container. Here is the container right here. When we pull up this flat earth cosmology, this explains why water would have a flat sea level at the ocean, while our horizon line would be a straight line if you look at this model, because the waters are being contained and they ain't stuck to a ball making a spherical shape. Now, if you ask me to reduplicate that on Earth, I can simply do this. I can say that the borders of this bathtub is my ice wall on a flat Earth. And then that'll be a simple way of me explaining why water inside of our terrarium has sea level and not sea curve, like what you trying to make it, right? All the instruments we use is based upon it being level. And it's simple, like I said, water that's contained will give us a shape of that container and maintain a flat surface level. And water that is non-contained will make a shape based upon its flow, like a river or something like that. Or water suspended in the space, they tell you, would turn into a glob. But then guess what? You will have to go to space to prove that, because water don't act that way here. And that's when they got to get you out of reality and science based on what you can prove, not what you can believe, because some dude floating around in space making the water take a shape based upon forces that's not containing it.
Okay,
simple shit, man.
Right. So my point is that the container doesn't need to be a physical thing. All right. For it,
I didn't say it did.
No, water, like any matter, just reacts to the forces acting on it. So let me just show you this. So this is water taking the shape of. Where am I? Sorry. Water taking the shape of just the forces acting on it. Nothing else
I
other than forces acting on it, right? So they put this water and it levitates. It's just levitating there. There's nothing holding it there, but it's got that shape. And they can change the shape of it. Nothing's holding it there. There's no container. The only thing that is happening as they are changing the forces.
That's cymatics, man. That's
wait,
cymatics.
wait. Let me finish, please. I let you talk for a long time, so please let me do the same thing. Right? There is no container holding this water in place. The only thing that is happening is they are changing the forces acting on the water. The forces in this case are acoustic sound waves. That's it. This is done with acoustic levitation of sound waves. There is no physical container holding this thing in place. The only thing that it is doing, the water is reacting to the forces that are acting upon it. That is it. That is what happens to all matter. It reacts to forces acting upon it. You can't look at that and tell me there's a container, right?
Okay, got you. Now let me show you what's going on. You changed my argument. I said that water would take the shape of its container. Then you changed my argument to water is not in a physical container. It's in an acoustic container. It's in a sound container made of sound, but it still makes me right that if water taking a shape, it's going to mirror the shape of its container. In your case, water is actually taking the shape of the vibrational frequencies that's being permeated through it. Just like if I was to cut on my bass speaker now next to a bucket of water, it'll start making all kind of shapes depending on which frequencies are hitting through the speaker. So my thing is, it's still a container, and like you said, though, what I agree with, it's not a physical container. But that's not my argument. My argument was just long as it's a container. I know that there are non-physical containers as well.
Right. Okay, so that's my point. So in the case of Earth, the container that gives water its shape is the force created by gravity. That's why water is level.
Okay, I got you. You could say that's one reason why water could be level if we use the globe theory. Another theory could be based on density, right? Everything find their level and settled out with this least dense things floating, and let me finish, Chris.
Yeah.
And the heaviest things they're gonna sink. Hold on, I just started talking.
Yeah, no, I wasn't
so
saying
check this out. Like we see here, no matter what liquid you put in here, no matter what item you put in here, things will level out and settle. Now this can be explained with density. I don't got to say that there are any kind of forces acting upon nothing. I can say that all things are responding to a universal laws. That's what I'm saying. And it makes totally perfect sense. So my thing is that we're dealing with things leveling out based on density inside of containers. And each of these mediums is a container. Look, you got water right here that's green. That's a container. You got dish soap at this level. That's containing some sort of ball right there. You got honey down here.
Long he talks for, guys.
Everything in this cup is a different liquid that's finding its own level and layer based upon how dense or least dense it is, and it's forming a perfect, what we call, this is flat earth cosmology, what I'm showing here. Teaching about how the different parallel universes are layered over each other, what they call ethers or nethers or the heavens. But I ain't gonna go that deep into it. What I want to point out though, because I want you to see it from my perspective, if you're gonna build with us so you can see it. If you look at this flat earth here, the atmosphere is the same way. All of the layers of the atmosphere, they're different gases above us, they're layering out on their own layers, just like this.
Okay, so the main issue with that is that's created by a force, and what happens when you remove the force? The density tower doesn't exist anymore. The force is created. The force created by gravity, and if you
I knew I would get him.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Is that right?
We got you.
Is that right? Can I finish? Right?
Yeah, you
The
you've
reason
been
why,
finished now.
right? The reason why that density tower sits like that is because of the force created by gravity. And what happens when you cancel out that force that's created by gravity? I'll show you exactly what happens when you cancel out that force that's created by gravity. That density tower no longer exists. So here is the density tower, and these people are inside the famous vomit comet, which cancels out gravity by doing a parabolic flight and simulating 0G. So the density tower is there. Here we go, if they've got it. And as soon as they start doing their parabolic flight, what happens to the tower? Right, we'll show you as we, here we go. So here's the density tower, and they're about to go into their parabolic flight, which will remove the downward force created by gravity. And watch what happens to the density tower when that happens. Here we go.
It's gonna shake it up and mix it together.
No, he's just holding it. Right? And it's instantly, as soon as they went to 0G, instantly that density tower disappears. It's all mixed together because there is no downward force given those density their arrangements.
You created the force when you did the 0G.
Wait, guys, you keep interrupting me. I've tried not to interrupt you, right? Well, let me finish my point first, right? Let me finish my point. So, as we can see, just before they start doing the parabolic flight, you've got the density tower arranged as it has been. But the second that they go into their parabolic flight and that downward force created by gravity is cancelled out, that density tower is no longer arranged. But the second that the parabolic flight happens, it starts rearranging itself because that downward force created by gravity is now being felt again.
Okay, so now let me respond to all this, right, y'all?
Yeah, just so you know, I'm going to put the link in my chat in a minute. No, I'm just telling you something. I'm going to put the links in my chat in a minute so people can join, okay?
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Just do it. Just let me get the floor. I'm going to show you why what he said is a bunch of malarkey that makes no sense at all. He's talking about a downward pull called gravity, but there's an upward force that he's missing. That's why I say I don't deal with forces. Everything's settled based on their own weight with the laws of density. So check this out, y'all. The way that this thing works is that because they basically in a plane that's disturbing the liquids, they can't settle. That's the argument we had last time about the astronauts. They food can't settle. He said they puking, they constipated, because they basically what's happening in their guts and their body is what he said is happening in this water with the solution he had. And that would kill them. We already went over that argument. If the thing he's holding, if that's going through in there, what's happening in his body to all the fluids that need to settle based on the law of density. The heavy things need to go down and become poop. The liquids need to go down. Your body is sorting all that based on what the solid liquid density and solid liquid gas and the law of density determining how things layered and orchestrated. But to make a long story short, right? If you think about what he did, what makes it so silly, he keeps calling it a downward force of gravity. But in this same thing, you got things floating up. That's defying gravity. That's why I say I don't need no forces of gravity, because if I just use density, I don't have the problem Craig got, and I hope that he can be professional and let me finish like we did for him. So with the law of density, it explains that things that's least dense than the medium they're in will float. Things that's more dense than the medium they're in will sink, period. If I say it's a downward force, I'm not explaining the upward force. Then he's gonna have to come with some more malarkey and a whole bunch of crap that don't make sense. When I got one universal law that explains why things float and why they sink, simple, and it works perfectly. So, I mean, there's no way around this. What I'm saying right now, like I said, the layers of our atmosphere, and this is what I'm gonna conclude with right here, guys. I'm just waiting on my computer to open up, and I'm finna land my plane right now. So here's the layers of our atmosphere. This is the ancient cosmology right here. Let me show you this. This will take about 1 more minute.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So what they call in the layers of the atmosphere right here, right?
Just 1 minute.
This in the flat Earth model. If we here to see each other's models and debate them, you know, I'm going to show it to you. So here's how all the layers of the atmosphere are stacked. The reason why things behave the way they behave on the ground is because there's more atmospheric layers on top of you. This is the same thing about a diver that's diving into the depths of the ocean. As he rise up, he got to stop and do it on and settle out on certain levels. So what he explaining ain't got nothing to do with gravity. Guess what? It got something to do with pressure and density. Because if you at the bottom of all these layers, is more weight, is more, you experience more weight, more density. Because just like in the ocean, the deeper you dive, the more pressure above you. The same thing with the layers of the atmosphere. So
oh, no, I'm still
that's even they tell you when you're on airplanes, they have to do certain things different based on that. But I'm gonna land right there. That's my minute. That's my minute. And if you drop that link, Craig, I sure don't see.
Yeah, I've dropped the link in my chat. Yeah, so have you got any proof of this law of density? I mean, you've just described buoyancy.
Yeah,
but
I do.
You said law of density. Could you prove the law of density for me?
Okay, cool. Let me go back to my screen share. Let me go back to my screen
You said
share.
proof of the law of density.
I know. I love that question.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
No,
that
I
exists,
I got you, man. Y'all see what we're gonna do. I was in the Air Force, right? Militant mind coming in. When a question is asked, let me go at it, right? Now here's the thing. People have different explanations to explain different phenomena, and in a debate, a person presents their explanation to describe a natural phenomena, and the other person presents theirs. What y'all gotta do is say which guy has got the most simplest explanation that make the most sense with the least amount of resistance. I have one universal law that explains why things in his cup is floating and why things are sinking. He asking me to prove the law of density. But the law of density is just a universal explanation that people have used on Earth the most consistently to explain the natural phenomena of why things fall and why they rise. You don't have to prove the law, which is your explanation or your way of explaining a natural phenomena, only if the way you explaining it don't match up with what we see outside. But that's why I put my example on the board so you can see this is indeed what we see outside, and I'm explaining it to the T with my law, what I'm calling the law of density, and I have that right on it. I'm not bound to any other person's explanations. That's what a debate is. That I got the debate from my perspective and you for yours, and the best man win. Now you can say, well, Brother Sanchez, your law of density don't adequately explain what's going on as far as things sinking and floating. And I think the people will say you're a damn lie.
You done?
Hey, can I add to that?
Okay, I was gonna just respond quickly first, if that's okay. That didn't prove the law of density, it just said a thing. What you explained was what happens because of gravity and buoyancy. Buoyancy is the upward force that you keep talking about, Bruce Sanchez, the thing that makes a helium balloon rise, which is actually created by the downward force of gravity. A helium balloon is lighter, less dense than the air, which means that the air is pulled down with a stronger force because of gravity, which creates a force in the opposite direction on the balloon, which forces the balloon up. The same as if you were in a car and you have a helium balloon and you slam the brakes on, everything goes forward apart from that helium balloon, which goes backwards. That's because of buoyancy. So what you just explained was buoyancy.
I want to make sure I heard you right. Because gravity is pulling the atmosphere down, a balloon floats up. That's what you just said.
Well, you missed out a few important points because the force of gravity is based on the mass and the density of things, and the air has more mass than the helium balloon, which means that there is a stronger gravitational force acting on the air than the balloon, which creates a force in the opposite direction of gravity that we call buoyancy. And then I gave proof of the example
I got you.
by explaining how if you're in a car and you slam your brakes on, you get thrown forward, but a helium balloon will get thrown backwards because of buoyancy.
Now, I think that your explanation does not adequately and simply explain the phenomena of why things sink or float in our reality.
Explains
and
it
I
perfectly.
think it's a horrible job of simplifying such a.
I can explain it mathematically,
and
if you
I'm
like.
gonna show you how you simplify it and make it make sense.
Oh, he's muted me again.
You say that because there's helium in a balloon, and helium is a lighter gas than the first couple of layers that in our atmosphere, the helium is gonna float past those layers like a bubble in the ocean floats up. There are no forces acting. This ain't Hollywood, and ain't nobody doing no acting at all, right? You need all of this jargon and malarkey when someone can just simply explain it with one law, and you mad about that, Craig. I can explain, for example, that boat down in that honey down there, it didn't fall because gravity put it down, and the ping pong didn't rise because buoyancy put it up. I'm telling you that the ping pong ball is simply lighter than all of these liquids right here, so it will rise above all of those mediums.
Why?
And some things aren't lighter than it. Look, this little cherry tomato rose above these first layers, but it didn't rise above that dish soap because of the law of density. It ain't that I'm saying. See, you would have to say, well, gravity was pulling the cherry tomato down during these first couple of layers, and then it just decided to stop pulling it down.
No, that's a straw man.
And so nope, you gotta let me finish. If the cherry tomato rises, then buoyancy just pulled it up. No, things don't get pulled up or down. They're simply looking for a settling point. Things settle. They set themselves in their respected layers, just like metals under the ground, just like layers of the dirt and rock that we're walking on. You're not gonna
like the clouds in the sky. Like the clouds in the sky with the flat
now, let's
bottom.
pass the mic around. He said he can handle the snake pit. Let's
Yep.
go.
So I have let my guys in as well.
Keep going. Right.
Hey,
if you
hey, put the atmosphere back up.
Hold on. I gotta tell something to Craig.
So the law of buoyancy, rho GV, actually explains it all perfectly.
Hold. This is important. This is very
oh wait, I didn't get to
important,
talk at all. Right.
If you put the link out on your end, I don't see nobody in the waiting room. I'm waiting on your people. I'm trying to get them on. That's what I've been telling you. We've been going back and forth, and I've been trying to get your people on.
Hey.
Oh, okay,
bro,
Siggy.
Can I make it?
Okay.
Can I make a quick question? Just a quick question regarding what you were talking about, buoyancy.
Yeah, you can, but wait a minute. Craig, my bad.
Yeah.
Siggy said he is with you.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I've definitely put the
and
link out.
we got Rubik's. My bad. I see your people now. I'm gonna be quiet and let all of y'all get it, Craig. You and your entourage, and then we'll respond.
I just have a quick question regarding buoyancy you were talking about. So you were talking about weight. So what does give weight to things? Is my question.
You said what gives weight to things?
Yep.
The medium that they're in. So let me explain. Our perception of weight. Hey Siggy, by the way, I gotta mute you while I'm answering you because your phone is tripping. But anyway, you know he on that globe head mobile. So, but check this out, y'all. What our perception of weight is determined by the medium that we're in. Okay, so right now, me being in this room on land, I experience a certain sense of weight. But if you put me in a water tank, I'm kind of flying around it. The medium changes my sort of whole experience of weight or weightlessness and all that, just to answer you simply, Siggy, without taking you all over the place.
Okay, but I wasn't saying that. I was actually asking. So you weigh exactly the same if you're on Earth, your weight
Right.
is always the same. Doesn't matter where you are, if you're in
I
the air or
understand.
if
I
you're
was
in the
just
water.
answering your question, though. I was
just
answering.
saying.
I know that you ain't teaching me that I don't know. I was answering your question, though.
Yeah, but I mean.
Let me repeat your question to you one more time. You said, "What creates weight on Earth?" And I said, "What creates our perception, our perceived perception of weight, the amount of force that's on us, and all of that, right? It's the medium we in that dictates that more than anything on this Earth."
But that doesn't change. Your weight doesn't change depending on what you are on Earth.
Why do you keep putting that in my mind? I didn't say that, though. What's your point, man? Like, oh, you saying things I didn't say. This is crazy.
Right. So, can I ask a question? Right. Let me expand on what you're saying. So, question for you, bro Sanchez. Right. The medium that we're in right now is the air that's got 14.7 psi. Right. So, why is it that someone that had, say someone weighed 120 kilograms, right? They would weigh a different amount at the equator compared to the poles. Their mass, 120 kilograms, would stay the same, but how much they weighed, like in pounds and ounces, would actually change based on where they are on Earth. Why is that?
And this is my theory on why that is. At the poles, when we nearing the poles, we're raising in elevation, and there's less layers of the atmosphere above us. And when we go, hold on, you can't ask a question and not let me answer.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, well, let me just mute you so you won't. Now, just to finish, when you're at the poles, you're raised in elevation. When we traveling toward the pole, we're rising in elevation the more we go. That's the highest point on Earth is 0 degrees. So you have less layers of the atmosphere above you at these points. And as you go toward the equator, you actually going lower in elevation, more layers on top of you. So that's what would answer Craig right there. He's saying that there's a, hold on, let's let me land though. Just let me land. So Craig is saying that there's a downward force pushing down called gravity and an upward force pushing up called buoyancy. And what I'm saying, if a person is at the equator with more layers of the atmosphere on top of them, they would experience more of this so-called downward force or gravity of more layers, pressure stacked on them, right? A man with 10 elephants on his shoulder gonna feel more weight than a man with one, right? That's simple what I'm saying. And as he go and raise in elevation, less layers of atmosphere above him, these things change. That adequately answers Craig, but he's gonna find something wrong with it when that's simple though. Like things stacked on top of you and things
let me respond to that now. Right. So no, you don't raise in elevation when you go north. Elevation means distance above the surface. If you're at the North Pole and you're at the equator, wait, I let you talk. Please let me, and please don't interrupt me. Thank you. So if you're standing at sea level at the North Pole and sea level at the equator, your elevation is the same. You are at sea level. You don't raise in elevation when you go north. The same amount of atmosphere is above you if you're standing at the North Pole to standing at the equator. Elevation means distance above the surface, not whether you've gone north and south. You confused up and down and north and south. So what you just said, Bro Sanchez, is utterly, completely wrong. You do not raise in elevation when you go north. The same amount of atmosphere is above you. The same pressure is acting on you, 14.7 psi. So why, if that's the case, do you weigh different when there is the same amount of atmosphere above you?
I'm going to answer you. First, I'm going to ask you a yes or no question because I want to answer you, but I don't want you to try to dance and hold up the flow. It's going to be yes or no. Have you ever been to the North Pole before?
No.
Okay, so shut your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about, whether it raise or not in elevation. I'm going off of
sea level is sea level.
No. That's wrong. Ain't no sea at the North Pole, though. You going off of, see, you're trying to put your model on my model. And
No, I'm
that's
not.
why I said
Oh, he's
answer
muted
the
me again.
question, yes
The
or
North
no.
Pole is a
Go
frozen
ahead.
sea.
Okay, you gotta go though, bro. You gotta go, Siggy. You out of here. And when somebody asks me, it's gonna be order, man. I'm gonna enforce my military discipline over here on everybody. Right? I cut Craig off. He pointed it out. I shut my mouth and didn't say nothing until he finished because he was right. I cut him off. And ain't nobody gonna do it to me. So now check this out, right? Like I said, he never been to the North Pole. I never been to space. We're debating each other's models. So on a flat earth model, he asked me a question that I got to base on my model. And I'm telling him, if a person is at the pole on a flat earth, there's less atmosphere. I can show you my model. Now, my model testify to what I'm saying. Any flat earth will tell you I'm not making this up. Are you here today to debate my model or your model? Because if I show you my model and you ask me a question based on my model and I show you how it will work on my model, then you try to change my model, that ain't fair. This is my model. It teaches that as we ascend to the north, just like I'm from Alabama. When I'm going from Alabama to the West Coast making my trip, my ears are popping. It don't feel like I'm rising in elevation, but you're on an extended slope when you're going from Alabama to California, and anybody that made that trip gonna vouch for me and know I'm telling you I'm right. When you get to Utah, you so far up in the damn sky in the mountains, but you don't know that. It's like you never left the ground. It's one big extended slope. So as we travel toward the North Pole, that's the same thing. It's true. Your ears go to popping the more that you get there. There's less. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is on a flat earth model though. And he asked me a question, what do you think I'm gonna base it on? My model. And it definitely works on my model. If we use my model, I can answer that question with no problems, which is why Craig gotta pick at my model like it's his model.
Okay, so can I ask you a yes and no question? Is there on your model the same amount of atmosphere above the north and south poles?
There is no South Pole on my model. Matter of fact, and let me pull
I've been
it
to
out
the Antarctic, so there's definitely a South Pole. I've been there.
Let me pull out my what I'm saying here.
Okay. Well, there is an ice wall, right? On your model, there is an ice wall around the edge, yes, which would on the globe be Antarctica, right? Is that correct?
Hold on, let me answer you one at a time. That's why.
It's just easy yes or no there.
Nope. I'm gonna let you see the model for yourself. Here it is, right here. I can show you better than I can tell.
None of those are models.
Okay, so now this is what I'm gonna say right now, guys. Craig, if you're scared, man, just say you're scared. Like, you're not gonna sit here today and tell if none of these are models, then guess what, Craig? The debate is over. You ain't got nothing to debate me about, because this is what I teach. Because think about it. If you're here to debate what I teach and I'm showing you what I teach and you say, well, that ain't a model, then ignore it. Don't debate it then.
It's not a model.
You can go your way, I can go my way, and you could debate somebody with a model.
I'm just telling you that's not a model. I mean, he's muted me, so... I mean, we must mean different things when we say model.
It doesn't matter. Can't put it like this. I can use another word. This is my belief. Can you debate my belief versus your belief?
I don't have a belief, so I wouldn't know how to debate a belief.
Yes, you do, man.
No, I don't.
You believe in Andromeda. You believe
no, I don't have beliefs.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, let me ask a question. You don't believe in a galaxy called Andromeda?
No, I don't have beliefs. The evidence suggests it's there, and I base my position on evidence and logic. Beliefs are irrelevant to me.
Okay. So, and you don't believe in, for example, diamond planets?
I don't have beliefs. I base my position on whether logic and evidence exists.
I'm asking a question though. Do you think that this diamond planet is a fact then?
Again, if there's evidence that suggests it exists, I mean, then I would go with what the evidence suggests. Beliefs are irrelevant.
Okay, as of now, do you accept or reject NASA's discovery of this diamond planet? And if you accept it, give me the evidence. And if you reject it, tell me why.
NASA said that there's evidence that something like that might exist. I
Based on
accept
what?
the evidence.
Based on what?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure what the evidence is, but they've got evidence. So I would base my position on that evidence.
So I got you. So here's what I'm gonna say.
No, you don't have me.
Hold on. I got you. Look,
In
he
what way?
want to be smart to slow me up because he know I got him on that. Now watch this. Watch this, bro. Let me. Come on, don't do tit for tat. Let me respond to you. So you just admitted you don't know what evidence they got to make this claim, but yet you still believe in it. Want me to tell you how I know you believe in it? Because you just said the K word that you lack. You don't know the evidence. So right now you believing in it till you get the evidence, and that proved my point. And Craig, you gonna quit thinking I'm a walk in the park. You need to debate somebody else on this panel, man. Like, I'm starting to see now you're not even on my level for real.
Again, I didn't say what you just said. I didn't say that. I said if there is evidence, I haven't seen the evidence, so I don't have a position on it right now. If there is evidence,
that proves a belief.
You've interrupted me while I'm talking, right? So I don't have a position because I'm not sure of the evidence, all right? I don't know what the evidence is. If there is evidence, then I would base my position on that. But I don't know. Right now, I couldn't tell you if I accept it or not because I haven't looked at the evidence. What I said, and you completely misunderstood me, was if there is evidence that suggests that, then I would accept the evidence until something else was presented to say the evidence was wrong. I didn't say that, yes, I accept it. I said I don't know because I haven't looked at the evidence to be able to make a position. So please do not attempt to strawman me.
Okay, so cool. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna be honest enough to say you gotta look at the evidence before you make a position, and you telling me you never went to the North Pole, then don't throw my model out and reject my model, because neither one of us have the evidence, right, to say what happens or don't happen at the North Pole based on either of our models. So both of us will have to say this is the part of the debate where we both go into belief in order to go into honesty. Keep it honest, because we're not talking about how a compass is used or things we can verify about the poles right here. We're talking about something we would literally have to prove. But you would have to definitely go to the North Pole to prove whether or not the pressure. For example, if somebody told me, Brother Sanchez, if you take a trip from Alabama to California, you raising an elevation, even though you can't detect it. And I'm saying, well, I don't feel the ground really making a steep incline because it's so minute over so much of a long distance. They can say, well, we can prove that you're raising an elevation because the air's popping, right? Because you can look down at the ground you was just on. You now when you get to like the Grand Canyon and all that. So my thing is this: I literally gotta take the trip though to experience that. If I never left Alabama, it'll just be, you see what I'm saying, a belief. And that's why I'm saying if I never been to the North Pole and you never been to the North Pole, we can't really have a genuine debate on what will happen to our bodies and stuff when we get there. We would have to debate what we think would happen based upon my model and your model. And the people would say, well, it make more sense on his model, or it make more sense on his model. That's normally how a debate work, man.
Okay, so I haven't personally been to the North Pole, but there is plenty of evidence because other people have been to the North Pole. You don't have to
share
personally...
the evidence.
Right, I'm sorry, I literally just let Brother Sanchez talk for like 3.5 minutes, and I got 5.5 seconds in and I was interrupted. That's not fair. Okay?
I was just saying, you can screen share here. It's open.
Yeah. Okay, so there is people that have been to the North Pole. There is plenty of pictures of people at the North Pole. There's, plenty of evidence of people at the North Pole measuring barometric pressure and stuff. It's not a secret that the pressure at the North Pole, the pressure at every point on Earth at the surface is about 14.7 psi, right? And on your model, if you call it a model, does it have a dome above it, Brother Sanchez? Yes or no?
Okay, so let
It's
me
just
explain
a yes or
something.
no. Does it
Hold
have
on,
a dome?
Hold on. No, it doesn't.
Right. So how do you determine how much atmosphere would be above the center compared to the outside?
What I have above my model is an ethereal. If you want to call it a firmament dome, I won't play semantic games with you like I was just about.
I just want to know what shape it is.
Let's okay, yeah. We have a spherical shape. I just showed you the model.
Right.
It's
Okay.
a terrarium. But look, I wanted to ask
wait,
you
let me
something I
finish.
didn't
Let me
get to.
finish my point, please. Right. So, on your model, right, that means that there would be less atmosphere above the Antarctic ice wall than there would be if you were standing at the North Pole, right? That because the North Pole, you would have the center of the spherical shape, the dome, whatever, be right above you. But at the ice ring, at the wall around the outside, that is where the dome would be touching, so there would be less atmosphere above you, which means there would be less atmospheric pressure, which is not what we experience in reality. At the Arctic and the Antarctic, there is 14.7 psi at sea level. But at both the Arctic and the Antarctic, in reality, you weigh less than you do. Sorry, you weigh more than you do at the equator, even though the pressure and everything is the same. So, but you weigh the same at the north and south. Your model couldn't explain that based on what you've just told me. Right, but now I think we should open up the floor to
Hold on,
other people.
no. You're not gonna host. No, you be running, man.
Hey, I'm
saw
just
him
saying.
trying to run. He don't want me to respond, dude. No, we're gonna open it up after I respond to you.
Okay.
Because you know, and now mute up. We don't need you talking no more. Check this out,
All
y'all.
right, we'll be muted.
Like I
Right.
said,
He's
he
allowed
asked
to
me
stay
about
unmuted and
my
interrupt me.
model. Here it is, right here. When we going to the North Pole on my model, we're ascending. We're ascending in elevation. On all these models I showed him, and I told him to pay attention to it. There's an ascension as you go to the pole. I told y'all what he was going to try to do. He was going to try to alter my model and belittle it, if you call it a model, and go to sand. Now, guess what he said?
Happens in reality
He
in the
said
slightest.
somebody else went to the North Pole to do these experiences. Then he said, what we experience at the poles, like you didn't experience a damn thing. You believe in somebody who said they experienced it, which go back to what I said
There's evidence
earlier.
they
You
did.
said people have been to the North Pole, but until you go, you need to shut the hell up and be honest and say, well,
No, that's not how it
there are
works.
people that went, and based on what they're saying and their observations, because guess what? Until you go, you can't verify it and prove it. And I'm going to share some with all the children watching right here. Here's what the scientific method is based upon.
He's about to get this so wrong.
Is one of the first things on it. Observe.
Oh yeah, and
if Craig
none of
can
what you
observe
said
it,
matches the
if
observation of
somebody
reality.
else observed it, he's believing them, the observer. Right? So, and it proves my point when I told him, if we're going to have this debate, see, I'm being honest. Craig is not. I'm saying, listen, Craig, I have no problem saying I never been to the North
Please don't
Pole.
call me dishonest.
Yeah, I could call you what I want, long as I don't disrespect you. If I feel you're dishonest, that's a word we can use. And
No,
you can
I think that's
prove how you're
disrespectful.
not.
Please don't do it. I'm being intellectually
Man,
honest.
listen, if you interrupt me again, dude, it's gonna show because you losing the debate, man.
Oh, don't let him get off like that, man.
Like, bro, this man is really trying to act over.
I'm trying to be respectful, man.
Hey man, stop, cause y'all over there calling us retards and Flerfs and all.
I've said nothing
shit,
like
so
that.
Stop. I just said you're dishonest. You making me mad now, and you're proving that I'm winning this. Can you stay muted while I finish? Dishonest does not trigger you. If you look in his chat room at some of the stuff they say about flat Earth,
Look in your chat, mate. Look in your chat.
I wish you would act like that. Now back to what I was saying. On my model, as we go to the North Pole, we raise in elevation. You can say, well, that's a stupid model. But if you ask me a question about what happens with weight, if you say, Brother Sanchez, on a flat Earth model, why at the North Pole people weigh different than at the equator? It makes sense on what I'm showing now. Now, guess what? You might not like the model, but I answered the question based on the model adequately. Now, like you said, Craig, let's let some more people on the chat room critique what just happened, because I think I answered the question adequately based on my model, and you just ain't like that. And guess what? And I'm going to land the plane here, too. I also would say that you took the words out of my mouth when you helped me out when you said other people measure it. Other people been to the North Pole. Other people been to space. All right, all of these other satellites been there. And ain't nothing wrong with that. The only thing wrong with that, if I'm gonna base my research based off of what a other person observed, guess what? I didn't do the scientific method personally. At that point, it's secondhand, and that's now goes into belief. Because if everybody in your family said we went to Egypt and we took pictures of it, here go the Sphinx, and you never went there, guess what? That don't mean that the Sphinx don't exist. It just meant that in reality, you can't say 100% proof that you know it exists because you never been there to see it for yourself. You can believe it exists, even though if y'all don't like how that sound, that's just the truth. You might get there and the Sphinx might not be there. So my thing is, in order for you to definitively prove something, you must be the observer. Anytime you go, I never been in the ISS space station. So I can't say, well, I know how your body gonna act up there and how it's gonna feel. Craig said you can't poop, you can't burp. And Craig, the mic is not on you next. I'm responding to what you said, and like you said, we gotta pass it to other people because I ain't got all day to go tit for tat.
I'd still just like to respond to that, if that's okay. No, we can't,
because then I'm gonna want to respond. You started, I responded. You came, I responded. You came, I responded. That's an even number.
What you just said is wrong, and I'd like to respond.
Well, guess what? At this point, it's just wrong because I ain't got time, and I got a bunch of.
So you're scared and running away, right? I understand.
I'm scared. I'm running, and you get the W because I'm running right there. I gotta get other
thank
callers.
you. I appreciate you admitting.
I gotta get other callers. I gotta get other callers. Right.
Pete Sanchez, can I ask Craig a question?
Yeah,
sure.
y'all can do what y'all want. I'm pressed for time. I just gotta get everybody in.
Okay, I just want to ask Craig. Craig, peace,
hello.
man. I think I'm a globe earth as well. I think you was doing pretty good. But what I wanted to say was when you showed the experiment with the water drop levitating because of the forces pulling on it. First thing came to my mind was the Bible scriptures where it says the Most High suspended the earth over nothing. I know you might not go with that. But according to a lot of texts, they said the voice and the sound of the Most High is what's keeping the earth up and stuff like that. I know a lot of people might not believe that, but through that experiment through sound.
Hey, Madon, I just wanted to say I liked that those observations you pointed out. That's biblical syncretism. People get paid big money to do that. Keep it up. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I had never seen that experiment done before, and I thought that was really neat, man, because I believe that it's sound and vibration that's holding up the earth. But I ain't gonna hold the mic. I just wanted to. I just wanted to acknowledge
nice
that.
Nice to talk to you, man. Thanks. Is there any people from my side that have a question for any of the flat earthers on Bro's side? I think that would be fair because there's been a lot of questions from your side.
Right, because I wanna flame up some of your people now.
Yeah. So anyone, can someone on my side put their hand up, and Bro Sanchez can let them in to take the mic?
Whichever,
man. Rob Noxious, man. I'm on your side.
No, Rob. Rob is a globalist, but we want to get the real FTFE followers on the mic first. They don't come a lot, Rob. You always come. So hold on. You. Yeah. So let his people go in first, Rob, and then you can go after them.
No problem. You just tell me what. I'm gonna go. Gotta go inside the store anyways.
Right. If you FTFE, let it be known.
Space works, science worked. He wants to talk. Could you let him unmute?
Yeah, for sure. Space works, science works.
I think you got to unmute. You got to hit unmute yourself there, bud.
Yeah, you should hear me now.
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing very good. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. So you've got a question for Bro Sanchez and his team?
Yeah. You talk about your model a lot, does your model allow for planets since you start talking about space?
Does it allow for planets, you said?
Yeah, like Jupiter, Mercury,
Okay.
Saturn.
Hey, good question. I'm always go to show and prove as these questions are asked. So yes, it does. Planets on my they didn't really call them planets during the time of this cosmology. They called them wandering stars. So you had 7 wandering stars, and then you had all of these fixed stars as well. And in the flat Earth model, the 7 wandering stars include the sun and the moon, Venus, Mars, you know, basically all of that stuff. If you just want to, and then if you want to get into how that would orchestrate over flat Earth, I would love to open up models for that and go deeper into it.
Okay, but what are the planets, the wandering stars? I mean, you're right about that. That's what it means. A wandering star means planet, yes. So we all agree on that. But do any of you guys own a telescope?
Yes, I do. Would you like to see it?
Well, no, I own one. And you can see the moons go around Jupiter, right? If you track them for 10 weeks, 20 weeks.
I'm not denying that, sir.
Okay. Okay.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Next thing, you can track Jupiter versus the background stars. Can we all agree on that?
You know what? I would just take your word for it for sure. Let's go with it.
Okay. Therefore, we can make out that they orbit the sun. Because we can't make that out. That's the part we
we
can.
lose each other.
No, because with the multiple planets like Mars and Jupiter, and you got the inner planets, Mercury and Venus, and they transit the sun, but Mars and Jupiter never do. Never, ever.
Hey, let me explain something to you. If you
and that explains that we are in between them.
Let me explain something to you real quick. If you look at the alignment that we had September 23rd, we had all of the 7 wandering stars that you just brought up, and I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. Hold on. This was going to back me up. This was the September 23rd alignment. Everyone on Earth saw this in the sky, SpaceWorks. Check this out. You know why this debunks what you're saying? This was a once in 7,000 year phenomena. It took place on September 23rd of 2017, and I made some of my most viral content during that time. But the reason for this alignment I want to show you, if you look at these 7 stars that we talk about that align, they were making a circuit around the North Pole. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Ain't none of those 7 wandering stars going around the sun, right? What we see the sun along with the moon and every last one of them all making a circle around the North Pole. And so the North Pole is the center of our Earth, not the sun. All right, we see the sun and moon both going around this central North Pole axis. We don't see the moon orbiting the sun, or excuse me, we don't. What we see is the sun and moon on their circuit above the Earth around the central pole, which is why we can look up in the sky, see them at the same time. So we see the sun and moon in the sky, then we see the wandering stars, and ain't none of this stuff going around the sun. It's all of the zodiac, including these 7 wandering stars, are making its circuit around the North Pole. This is what the flat Earth is. Now, if you look at the Antikytherian mechanism, the Antikytherian mechanism is tracking the 7 wandering stars based upon them being 7 celestial planes over a flat Earth, as above, so below. That's just answering SpaceWorks, though. I hope I'm giving him some of the research. Salutes to him. I like the questions your people bringing too.
Well, we've got someone here that would like to ask you a question as well. It's MC Toon. Mike, could he have a question for you? If that's all right.
Appreciate all of you guys for joining. and for sure, bomb away. We have a whole panel full of 16. Say who you want to address the questions to. You can address it to an individual or the round table in general, and let's get it. Thanks everybody joining. Let's go.
Hey, Toon, over to you.
Oh, hey, is my camera not working?
No, we can see you. You're good.
Excellent. Okay, well, hey, earlier, bro, you said that you talked about water being flat, and so I was just wondering, could you send the measurements that you took or somebody took of the flatness of water, please?
So when I say that water is flat, I'm saying water will maintain a level. That's why we say sea level, right? So level and flat can be used as synonyms depending on what context. But like I'm sitting at a desk right now and the surface of it is flat. I don't know the measurements of it, Mike, but I do know that this surface is flat though.
I'm so stoned.
Okay, so could you just send the measurements of flatness then, please?
No, I can't.
Oh, so you just have a blind faith that the water is flat?
No, what happens is this. Have you ever used a tool called a level? The level let me know if I'm plush, if my surface level is flat or not. So
could you send the measurements then?
Hold on. You keep asking me for measurements. Just wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna just hope that you kind of hit a little blunt and pop down a little. But check this out, right? Let me ask you a quick question. And what's your name again?
Mike.
Mike. What city are you in? I'm gonna go somewhere here. Just walk with me.
Minneapolis.
Okay. It's the Minnesota Timberwolves stadium flat. Yes or no?
I don't know.
Is it level? Yes or no?
I don't know. I've not seen the measurements.
Okay. And you wouldn't know the measurements, so you wouldn't know the measurements. No one else but me and him. No, I'm pretty sure that Mike can stand his. Mike, do you need help? I just want to know if you need help, Mike. I'll let you get help, but I can do it by myself, Mike.
Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so like I said, Mike, if the people that built the Timberwolves stadium say, well, it's a flat and level plane suitable for playing ball on, because if it wasn't, we can be sued. Guess what? You don't got to go and measure the court as far as width, height, and get all that. You just need to make sure it's level. And that's when we'll use some called leveling devices. So what I'm saying is, if I say that something is flat or something is level, that's like me saying that, okay, the entire Las Vegas strips, let's hypothetically speak, says run 7 miles flat, no slants, no slopes, is straight level, right? I can make that claim by riding down that 7-mile street with a level in my hand that'll detect for if it's perfectly horizontal. But I wouldn't have to know how many miles that road is. Me knowing exactly the length of a leveled road don't change the fact that I can detect if it's leveled or not. I can go to the salt flats in this overseas where the ground is perfectly flattened out, reflecting the sky.
Were they talking about football?
I don't know the
baseball?
measurements
I don't
of
know.
them, but that don't mean they can't name it salt flat. You're going to say, well, before you name it salt flat, that you measure it? No, they can know that it's level and
I
flat.
am Ernesto, don't worry.
Irrelevant of the measurement. You don't know the measurement of the Timberwolves arena, but you don't know the measurement of the desk you're sitting at right now, Mike. But I can assure you that the surface of your desk is level if it's like mine, if you got a sturdy, stable desk. I mean, so the point that I'm making is I don't got to know the measurements of a pool table to know that it's slanted because the balls is rolling and it ain't level.
Well, that was a long time for you to just say that you don't have measurements of the flatness of water.
And you don't have measurements of the flatness of anything that you didn't measure, but that don't mean you can't prove that it ain't leveled or flat.
I'm sorry.
That's the point.
He also doesn't have an
it's
example
just
of curved water.
It's just so far, bro, you've just said a lot of words, but never actually substantiated your claim of the flatness of water. Could you just go ahead and do that, or just admit that it's a religious position that you hold?
Okay, so I'm gonna prove it right now, and I'm gonna see if you accept my answer or not. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and screen share for you real quick. And I'm gonna, instead of me just talking to you with my avatar, let's go deep into it. Mektoon. All right. And I heard that you do. I heard of your name before. My first time speaking to you though. But yeah, we can do some more of these. You got the energy I like. So check this out, right? If somebody say to me, Brother Sanchez, can you prove that that horizon line is flat and horizontal? Based upon, I would say, what proof would you need? And they would say, well, with measurements. I say, no, I wouldn't be able to prove it with measurements. And I'll be cool with saying that. That don't make me a bad person. That don't make me not know what I'm talking about. It just means my way of, my claims of saying that this water is level and flat has nothing to do with me getting out of the boat with a tape measure and trying to see exactly. It's based upon how things behave on a level surface. If I got water in a cup on a level surface, it's gonna make a horizontal line. If the surface is slanted, then you know the water would show me these changes. So that's why we use this leveling tool to hang pictures and all that. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Is this the same flat water that somehow rises in elevation as you go north? You said that things rise in elevation as you go north. Is this the same flat water?
One thing at a time.
Man.
One thing, you're not gonna let Mektoon. Y'all rude, man. Mektoon deserves a right to respond to the level thing. We don't got a Bogart back to back.
Yeah. Let Toon say what he needs to respond to that. Toon, what do you have to say in response to Bro Sanchez showing this horizon here? You're muted, Toon. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I admitted to him that I don't know the measurements, but I'm not basing my claim on it being level or flat on that. And he can say, well, your claim is stupid. And I'll say, okay, and I'll take that one.
All right. Well, so what I got from that is that you have a religious faith that water is flat.
Cool.
But hey, sorry, don't interrupt me. All right.
Probably. You got it.
I've listened to you complain every time that Craig pops in a little bit. So yeah, listen with your mouth shut then.
See, he's trying to trigger you, man. Don't even fall for that shit.
Right.
No, just let him go. Let him go. He's not triggering me, man. Let him go.
All right, I'd like to share my screen, please.
Let him go. Let him go. He can't trigger me. I'm the gun.
I fucking love to.
I'm still waiting on some information on how do you measure flat water.
I stopped my screen share, and we got your screen share open for you.
Craig, you'll need to.
He said my idea that water is will maintain a level and flat surface is religious and belief, but just to respond to that,
all right, my turn to talk.
If water curves
my turn
in
to
space,
talk.
If water curves in space, that's a religious
my turn to talk.
belief.
Why?
If water curves in space, that's a religious belief. Not
Sanchez, you dishonest piece
of... Not me saying that it's level and flat. Bye, CJ. Go ahead, Mike.
You're muted, Toon. Just unmute yourself.
So why do I keep getting muted and talked over, bro? I've listened to you complain. I've listened to you complain for a couple hours now about every time that somebody jumps in.
I just answered your question. Go ahead.
So stop interrupting me.
Got it.
Stop getting all Felicia on me because I'm trying to talk. Okay, Felicia?
Holla at you. We're gonna listen what we're gonna do. We're gonna get him up out of here. I ain't gonna take no disrespect. And then I'm about to roast
he was just playing, man. He was just playing.
Nah. I'm gonna tell you something though. Hold on, no. Everybody stop real quick. Hey, Craig, I ain't nothing to play with. I'm from the streets though. So I'm from Alabama too.
Oh, that's MC Toon.
I don't give a fuck who
he's the worst rapper in the world, man. Like officially.
Only thing I'm saying is it hits different if I keep trying to let him play me like that, like he said he trying to trigger me, but I would suggest that white men don't try to trigger black men. In a racist world we live in, let's all
Come on, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
No,
we're all humans, man.
You're on the wrong channel. I love my people, man, and that's what. Hey, you gotta respect that. So let's continue. I respect all people. Only thing I'm saying is, it looks different. I'm respecting him. We might cut each other off and talk over each other, but guess what though? You're not gonna Felicia me and come with the ratchet type hood like no. That's gonna be looked at real wrong. I'm letting them back on, but yeah, I was wrong. I apologize to him for interrupting. We kind of been talking over each other here a little bit.
You've just been talking.
Back. So
is he allowed to come back on? Because he's got a good presentation for you.
Go so he can go and hit a treadmill and fucking eat some goddamn. Nah, Santa Claus need to shut the hell up. I run, that's the globe mentality. Look at your followers, man. Look at these are grown people. You need a therapist.
Grown man.
Yeah, Rip Van Winkle need a damn therapist. Y'all need to learn how to behave yourself.
Sanchez, you need to learn to be honest for once.
Hey man, if I'm dishonest, leave my dishonest ass alone.
Right. So I see Hogarth has got his hand up. He's being very respectful and just waiting. So maybe James Hogarth could have a chance to say something. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm telling you, if y'all want to roast and come with all this energy, I'm going to get real niggified, ignified, and ratchet. I'm going to get project on it. You want to bring a black dude out? We can do that.
All right, let's everyone try to be calm. But yeah, James has been patiently waiting with his hands up, so let's give him a chance to say what he'd like. James, unmute yourself.
Where's the black guy?
Thanks. So, Brother Sanchez, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man, we can hear you.
Great. Making sure I don't misrepresent your model, because I know you'll get very upset if I pick the wrong picture. Could you please put up, share the best image you have of your model?
No. Let me show you some. I don't have a best image. I have multiple different conceptions of our universe from ancient people. And I can say that every single culture had some right things about it and some wrong about it, just like in any science today. There were very various models of the solar system you guys believe in today. Different philosophers said it was one way, it was a geocentric argument at one point. No different, right? I got different conceptions from all over during the time when people conceived the flat earth. And I can see something right in all of them, and I can see something wrong in all of them. In other words, I don't have a perfect model. No one does.
That's fine. But we can work with the theater of the imagination. So thank you very much for explaining earlier how your view has the rising mountain as we approach the pole in the center of the disk. That's helpful so that we don't have the question about the atmosphere. But on your conceptualizations, whereabouts in that would you consider the equator to be?
Okay, good question. You mind if I take like 30 seconds to open this screen share? It won't even take that long.
Yeah, by all means. I'm really interested in like how you're describing this.
Okay. I just need to pull up, because you asking me about something that I really want to go into with my
that's great. This is why at 1 a.m. I'm still sitting up in bed listening to this and learning from you.
Okay. Let me grab something real quick. Sun path. Damn. Matter of fact, I saved this thing. What am I doing? So I don't have to go through this. My bad. Hold on, let me see. Because this is a good example. Let me see here. Come on. Hold on. Let me try to find it this way. So the Tropic of, let me see something real quick. Some of y'all flat earthers know what I'm talking about. Here it is. Here it is. Consistency, my bad. So the equator on a flat earth, as above, so below. Here's how the equator works on a flat earth. You see this circle on the ground, my brother, that says equator? That's the below equator. There's a celestial equator above that's matching that one. And basically, this equator is the equal point of the sun path on its path of ascension and descension. When it's midway, and when it's midway on its path of ascension or midway on its path of descension, it's always gonna, that middle point, that circle will match this equator circle. And when it's get way into make this small circle at its highest peak, like what's happening at the North Pole, is the same thing. I told you our Earth made the same way. We got a mountain following this same path, and there's one star in the middle, Polaris. That's where the sun is going. So the thing about that is that one star will be matching this 0 point on the Earth. It's all as above, so below. Is all mirroring what's happening down here. So basically, the tropic of basically equator would be the middle point on a flat Earth. The Tropic of Cancer would be the innermost circle, if you will, or the inner point, and the Capricorn would be the cap, the outer cap, you know what I'm saying, the ring or whatever.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. So using that as our view, if you have a 2 kilogram bar of gold as a figure that's easy to work with. Picture a bar of gold that has mass of 2 kilograms, okay? Like in the olden days when they're instead of normal currency, they would like barter with gold. If you take that mass of gold, yep, fantastic. Yep, exactly like that. If you take that mass of gold and take it to the Arctic, the North Pole area.
I like this James guy.
That the weight of it is less, is more than if you go to the middle of where you had your picture, where the equator is, which is explained in your model with your mountain in the middle, which is fine. But if we continue going out towards the Arctic wall, then it will get heavier again. So in your conceptualizations, is there also a big slope going towards the Arctic wall that matches perfectly the
what I was trying to say. Well done.
The lowest point being on the equator, so we have this big kind of like bowl instead, a bowl with a big spike in the middle? Or do you have some other explanation for how that works?
I'm kind of confused as to what you're asking me, how what works. My bad.
Sure. Let me try and make it, as I said, it is 1 a.m. here, so my bad as well if I'm coming at all unclear.
You're doing great, James. Thank you.
If you have, so we measure mass in kilograms. Yep. So we had 2 kilogram mass of gold is the same physical gold if you take it to the Arctic, the Antarctic, to Africa, to the UK where I am, to wherever. It's the same blob, it's the same density, it's the same volume, it's the same blob of gold. But
like,
if you
asking, not to interrupt, but just I think I know where you're going. You're asking me basically what we were saying earlier. Why is the gold heavier? Go ahead.
Yes, and I appreciated your answer because that was an answer that could be plausible for going from that equator line through to the North Pole at the center of your conceptualization.
Oh, you're saying it wouldn't work going from the equator outward?
But my query then, yes, is as you approach the Arctic wall in your conceptualization, when we measure it in reality, we see the same effect as if you're going to the Arctic as to the Antarctic with that mass of gold. If you weigh it on a regular scales, it will weigh less in the equator line and more at the Arctic, and the same more at the Antarctic. So in your conceptualization, is there just a if you can turn off the screen share just for a second, because I think it's easier with my hand to try and explain.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So where we have the line of the plane, and we have that mountain in the middle that you described, to make sure that the air was, for the pressure coming down for the weight, is the same. Would it be a similar on this side, like a height here? So would we end up with effectively a bowl shape like that, so that the weight we measure would be the same regardless of atmosphere? Or do you have some other explanation?
Man, this gonna sound crazy, but it may look like I'm even losing whatever that may say, but I'm having a hard time understanding them. So I'm gonna let another flat earther who may understand you better than me. I'm a tag in one of my comrades on this one.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah,
Thank you very much for the time.
But hold on, before I let you speak, big guy. Out of respect, we don't leave no questions unanswered. So if there's any other flat earther who understood him and would like to give him a satisfactory answer or give it a shot, go ahead. And if not, then yes, he can speak. He can speak. And our horror, you can speak if no other flat earther wanted to answer him. We'll just scratch our head on the question a little bit. But go ahead.
That's fine. Thank you for your time, Brother Sanchez. I do appreciate you doing these calls with Craig. And Craig, thank you for doing these shows as well, because I do appreciate them.
No worries, James. I very much enjoyed your question there.
Hey, Craig, was he asking me? Basically,
yeah, he was basically asking you what I was earlier about the fact that the change in weight is the same from the equator north as it is from the equator south. And how your model would explain that based on your explanation of there being an elevation rise in the center compared to the outside. So he was looking for a comprehensive explanation as to why the weight would be the same going both distances on your model. I think he asked it very well.
Yeah, it won't be the same going both distances on my model. Though.
But it is in reality, and that's the thing.
No, not in reality. How can you make that claim? Like I said earlier, if neither one of us never been, how can we make that claim? Because my thing is this right here. We could say that the gold weighs nothing in space, but I never been to space. I would have to believe the people that had the gold floating around in space, but that'll make me a believer, not no
I get that.
type of scientist.
But as James was saying, what he was saying is based on historical trading of gold and the fact that they knew that the weight of gold would change the same going north and south of the equator. So they had to adjust for it, because otherwise you could just buy some gold at the equator and then head north or south where it would weigh more and make money.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I get what he's saying. I totally get.
Anyway,
now look, let me
should we move on to the next person? Was it
Nope.
Okay,
we're not gonna wait till I get his question to not let me answer it.
All right, you get it now. That's brilliant. That's cool. I like that.
I'm pretty sure now that I get his question, everybody is like, okay, let's hear your answer now. Now that you get it, right? Cool.
Excellent.
So, and this only going to take 1 minute, and we're going to go to our horror. So check this out. On my model, because I just got to take me a minute to pull my slides up, but once we get them, we good. See, on my model, man, you split this torus field in the middle right here. And I get what you're saying now. The further you go out from the equator, is less of the sky on you too. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me just show you.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about your explanation.
Watch this.
Are you screen sharing? I don't see you the screen share.
Yeah, y'all see the screen. Oh, hold on. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. That is my bad. I am not screen sharing. Now I am. So here go my model. Now watch this. When you go on the North Pole toward the middle of this model, you're raising an elevation. And he said, okay, that's true. But what about when you going away? Is less of the air on top of you when you going away? Because if you're up under a tent, the closer you go to the edge of the tent, the lower that the wall get. The wall is declining down. So once you get over here to the wall, you're not up under this hole in the center part. But even when you get to the center part, it's elevating you, so it's still the same phenomenon that's happening back here. So let me show. So hold on, just to drive this home now that I get it, because when I get some, I like to drive it home. Just like this tent, right? when we going to the outside away from this pole, the wall is getting lower and lower. Look, when you get way out here, it's less atmosphere on top of you as well. And if you're going toward the middle, you elevating because you're going up this mountain according to the Mayan. So that's how it will be true both ways.
Okay, so your explanation is that because you rise in elevation towards the dome at the center, you're going to be as close to the surface of the dome as you would be if you were at the outside. So the elevation at the center in your model must be extreme, right? Which again isn't what we see in reality.
Just to answer your question about the elevation at the center of my model, I can agree with you. It's very extreme. This mountain that we see in the Mayan cosmos, in religion, and I hate to use these religious examples, but religious people were scientists, cosmologists, religious people are doctors, surgeons, lawyers. But anyway, let me just share something with you, right? They called it, this would be the mountain that Jesus stood on where he can see all the kingdoms of the world. This is the most elevated point in our universe. The mountain called it Mount Meru. But yeah, like you said, that is extreme. That's basically the stairway to heaven concept. This is where it's coming from. That's what I'm saying. Jack's beanstalk. I got cosmologies where they have it literally, it's connected with the heavens. Because what's that pyramid right there, right? This is what it's doing. And just to show you, it's this is what the North Pole is. It's an ethereal pole of plasma where there's a peak of energy. A crash is happening at the middle of the earth. All of the magnetic ley lines are crashing. All of this magnetic energy is crashing together at the middle of the earth, and it's making a pile of energy, which is what this mountain symbolizes. And when you collapse things from all these angles, all of that energy goes vertically. It has nowhere to go but vertically now. Like when two cars crash and they go up in the air, and all of that same sort of thing is going here in the middle of the earth. This is according to the Mayan and different ancient cosmologies. They looked at our earth just like an electromagnetic torus field, just like one of these. But we can let other people build, though.
Okay.
I know Ahura is waiting.
Ahura he's desperate, chomping at the bit. So let's get Ahura in. Thank you for that detailed explanation, Bro Sanchez. If you would stop screen sharing, so we can have Ahura ask his question.
And I am muted.
No. Guys, first of all, it's roar. Okay.
Roar. Okay.
Roar. Like a lion.
Roar.
First name.
You get it now.
First name less. L roar. Okay.
All right.
So. All right, Bro Sanchez. Would you mind putting up any map that you want that shows, your Earth that you're saying, your flat Earth? Up on that, please.
A map that, you said you just want me to pull up one of my models real quick?
Yeah, one of your maps. Yeah, one of your maps that shows the Earth. No, not that one.
No, no. The screen share was just stuck there, but I'm about to get you one.
All right.
A lot of flat earthers like this one. It ain't my go-to, but I want to mix it up a little bit for them.
Okay. Well, I don't want to use something that you don't like. I mean, are you saying this is good?
I love this. This the Gleason.
All right, it's good. It's good enough.
This one has my stamp of approval.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So. Now I just want to clarify what you said earlier because it's been a while. Okay. So, you're saying that at the equator, let's say right there south of the United States, okay, just south of Mexico there on the equator, if you'll point to that. Okay, good. All right. So if we're there on the equator, on the ocean, say we're on a boat. Let's say we're on a boat, and we measure that brick of gold. Okay, we find it weighs, let's say we say it weighs 2.999. Okay. All right. And so now let's take our boat and go on through the Panama Canal there and go on around up there north of Alaska. Go ahead and pull the screen down if you would.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so you go there north of Alaska, up, they're close to the North Pole. Okay, not on the North Pole, but just north of Alaska right there. Like right in the middle of the screen right there.
Hold on 1 second. Here I go.
Okay.
You said go to Alaska, you said?
Yeah, northwest of Alaska there.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. There you go, right there. There by the Aleutian chain. Yeah, there you go, right there. Okay, and we find that when we go right there, it weighs 2.000. I'm sorry, 2.200 pounds rather than 2.1999 pounds. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So what is your explanation for that again?
I'm gonna use the same explanation that I use if you're asking me the same question, basically. Though.
Yeah.
What is differently?
Yeah. What is your explanation for the fact that they're off of Point Barrow, Alaska? It weighs more than they're they're in the Sea of Cortez. What's your explanation for that again?
Well, Alaska. Let me just go to Alaska real quick, right here. You're saying right here off this little arm of Alaska, correct?
Yeah, right up there. It weighs 2.200 pounds.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you're saying, but like I said, as we go to this middle part though, it start to change drastically. That's all.
Well,
that was my point.
Well, okay. What's changing drastically exactly?
See, now I'm going based on you guys' claim because I'm debating with honesty here. I don't know how. I can't prove that gold. That this is what the nature of gold is when we change, because I never traveled with gold. I'm taking everyone else's account here, and I'm going with you guys' argument. So based on that, let me just say here, based on that, right? Based on the argument you saying that this is what happens when gold move around.
It doesn't have to be gold. It can be lead. It could be anything.
Cool. Right. Anything, even a human, right? Can we throw a human in it?
Yeah, sure.
You're saying that your weight gonna vary based on where you're at on the earth.
That's right.
And I thought I did a good job explaining it. I just want you to do a good job of pointing out in my explanation where I went wrong at. And
no. I'm just trying to clarify what you said to make sure I understood it. You're saying that there's less atmosphere. Is that correct? What you said, that there's less atmosphere?
As you go toward the center. And see, Alaska, you still ain't nowhere. All of these continents, they have nothing to do with that pyramid that I was showing in the middle.
But we're not talking about the pyramid. All we're doing is we're talking about we're in a ship, okay? We're in a ship.
Still on a plane, though. I'm trying to explain the model.
That's what I'm asking you, okay? So up there, they're off of Point Barrow, Alaska, or off Vadak, Alaska, right up there. Why is it, according to your explanation, why is it that I weigh more, a little bit more, not much, but a little bit more, okay, up there in Alaska than I do down there off in the Sea of Cortez?
I would say because there's more atmosphere stacked upon you. Because check this out. Hold on. No. You can't kick me off. Just give me one.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And on my model, it will show that because look, watch this. If Alaska is somewhere right here on the edge of this pyramid bottom, this according to the Mayan, you will have more atmosphere above you. Because look above you. The more you go toward the middle, the more atmosphere layers gonna be stacked on you. It's just that once you start what's called this path of ascension right here, it ain't gonna work like that because you're actually rising up with
the atmosphere taking away the pressure.
We're not. First of all, you surely don't think that is a pyramid that size. But even if, regardless of whether there's
what are you asking me about?
Well, we're on the water. We're on the water. We're on the ocean. There in the Sea of Cortez. Okay, we're right there in the ocean in a boat.
Right.
On the Sea of Cortez. And gold was that brick of gold or lead or whatever.
When you agree with me that the more atmosphere get on top of you, that's gonna make it heavier.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't agree. But that's
you
what
don't
you're
agree
saying.
Oh no, I'm saying, do you agree that the deeper we dive in the ocean, the more pressure stacked on us, the more weight we're gonna experience?
No.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
Wow.
No,
wow. And by the way, and by the way, and by the way, you're speaking to a diver. You know, you're speaking to an expert diver. By the way,
that's sad. That's
Can I say something?
Now hold on. It's sad that I've had 3,000 dives. Okay. But anyway, you're still missing the point.
You're just gonna deny pressure? Oh wow, go ahead.
No, the pressure is there, but that doesn't make me weigh anymore.
Man, I've swam to the bottom of a 12 feet pool and it made my ears. Anyone that ever dove deep, because I'm a deep diver too. I ain't been no hundreds of feet. I've been to 18 feet, and you can laugh all you want, but 18 feet was all I had to go for me to realize that. Damn, if I was to go any more, that shit'll be hurting.
Yeah, I did the submarine escape training tank, which is extremely deep.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, Sanchez, let me fly for a second. I gotta get the guy.
Let me have a go, please.
Yeah. But we're getting way off the track here. Okay.
Let me have a go.
Let Ivor finish his point, and then we move. I think Ivor is nearly there. Elroy, sorry, Elroy.
Yeah. So. The question that I have for you was, okay, what is causing the
gold to weigh more?
The gold to weigh more. And if I understood what you said, and let me just try and put what you said into my words and tell me if I'm wrong.
Let me just say it again, and you clarify with me as I
go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Right. This hole right here in the middle of this Gleason map represent the pyramid right here. That hole right there, that's the North Pole. You ain't nowhere near that point of elevation. So hold on. Let me show you. The closer you go toward that pole, the more pressure you experience because the dome is high in the middle. So until you start to climb that pole, when you get around the edges of this pyramid, that would like you being like right here around the rim of this pole. And it would be so many layers of atmosphere stacked upon you at that point, and all of a sudden the pressure would ease up as you step up upon this plate and ascended, because now you even it out by you actually walking up there to decrease the gap.
That's not what I said though. Okay.
That's what I'm saying to answer your question. That explains.
No, it doesn't. We're nowhere near. We're nowhere near that point there at the top of the map. We're over
on your model.
Here. No, not in my model.
From my model perspective.
No, we are in a boat. Okay, in a boat. You can't get to the North Pole in a boat.
Who's weighing gold on a boat? Who's weighing anything on a boat? Where y'all even getting this experience from?
I've plenty of times, but you're missing. Let me finish, okay? You're out here, out by Point Barrow, Alaska. The gold weighs
because it's more atmosphere on top of you.
Why is there more atmosphere on top?
Let me show you something. Right, I'm glad. Now that's a good. That's right.
On this map. I'm using this.
I'm about to show you why. Everybody stop yelling. It's getting chaotic. Let me just build with him a minute. Watch this.
This is so much fun.
Just watch this. And I'm gonna use that map. I'm not going nowhere. Just hear me out. If we're inside of a big cathedral like something like this, guess what? When you get in the middle and you start to talk, you're gonna notice an acoustic change because the ceiling is higher. Now, as you after you move away from the ceiling, guess what? Away from that high ceiling, you notice your voice start to account for that. The same thing is happening right here. If you understand that we're under a big dome according to Flat Earth,
And the closer you get to the middle, the more higher, more dome, the more ceiling is on top of you versus you going away. So let me show you another way of looking at it.
But hold on.
Hold up. You got to let me finish. We got to have order. I'm almost done right here. Check this out, right? To answer you. If I go toward the center of this tent, the ceiling is higher than if I'm going toward the outer edge. And until I make it to that pole and start my ascension, I'm up under a lot of layers of air. That will explain why on a Gleason's map, things would get heavier as you go toward the center or experience.
But it doesn't.
But it doesn't.
So
whoa,
hold on. Let me finish. Y'all, damn guys, this is the way debates
It's
go.
the opposite, bro. It's
hold
the
on.
opposite.
Hold on.
He said it gets heavier though.
Yeah, I'm using what he said. I'm not hearing what
No,
y'all
well,
saying. Stop. If you cut in again, I gotta let you go.
He misspoke.
I gotta let you go. That's the problem. You need to stop. Let him make his argument and let me debate these arguments one at a time. Now, after I get through killing his argument, then you can make your argument, but never tell another man he misspoke. That's wrong. Let him say, hold up, Sanchez, I misspoke, and let me change what I'm saying. But he didn't do that. You're not going to do it for him. I'm going to make you have respect for that gentleman. Now, like I was saying, guys, and I'm going to conclude here. It makes perfect sense what I'm saying. And they just crumbling apart because everything they throw at me, I got an answer for it. Now, watch this, y'all. I'm showing him. He said as you go closer toward the North Pole, the gold getting heavier to try to debunk me. And I said, look, you ain't even made it to the path of ascension yet, the pyramid here. If you still around, look, everything gonna get heavier, like I said, as you move to the North Pole. It ain't gonna start to lighten up till you get to this little circle in the middle, this little dot in the middle. That's the pyramid, just like I showed with the tent. It don't get no simpler than that. It's more atmosphere above you toward the middle of the tent than the outside. So this pole would be the pyramid, allowing you to climb, or the beam path, all that shit, to ease that pressure that he's trying to say that's on the goal. But everything they throwing at me, I can legitimately explain it very simple on my model. They just don't want to acknowledge that that's what I'm doing, though. That's the fucked up part about it.
Sorry to interrupt you, but can I just add something? You know, the same effect that he's trying to explain to you, it happens in the southern hemisphere. I happen to live in Argentina, and the issue is pretty much the same. Things have a slightly different weight depending on where you are. So how do you explain that exactly on your model?
I've been doing it all night. Everybody that come up here and say things have a different weight based on where they are, I'm explaining it. There are different places on Earth where there are least or greater amounts of layers of atmosphere above you, which will dictate everything y'all asking me. That's a simple general answer that will just we can move on from that.
We cannot, because it doesn't explain anything. It doesn't explain how it changes from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere.
You know what? Well, let's do this. Let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's flip the thing around. Let Roar explain to me why the gold weighs more in Alaska. I gave mine. You don't have to accept it. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. But now he can tell us why then. Since I'm doing a horrible job and no one want to take my answer, that's the best I can do. So now y'all tell us what's happening to the gold. Fair enough? And
that sounds about right to me.
You need to unmute yourself.
Just tell a brother why.
Do I get a chance now?
Crickets.
Where you at now? Where y'all at now? Where y'all at now? Where y'all at now?
Elroy, wait.
Where y'all at now?
Well, Elroy wants to respond, but he's muted. He just needs to unmute himself and he can respond to you.
Yeah, man, y'all, boy, I tell you, I do this, man. Let's go.
What I was beginning to say is the rate of acceleration is higher. The higher one goes in latitude, and the lower one goes in latitude. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The higher one goes in latitude, the lower the radial acceleration. The lower one goes in latitude, or the closer to the equator, the higher the radial acceleration, which causes the gold to weigh less. If you put that gold in
acceleration, yeah.
Right, exactly. If you okay.
Yeah, help him out. Help him out. Y'all clashing.
Centripetal acceleration. There's no such thing as centrifugal, but that's beside the point. If you put that gold in water, okay, if you put it in, let's say, 3 feet of seawater, it's going to weigh some amount. I'm not going to calculate it right here, but it's going to weigh something like 1.5 pounds, okay? If you take it down 10 feet, it's going to weigh 1.5 pounds. If you take it down to 1,000 feet, it's going to weigh 1.5 pounds. If you take it down to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, it's going to weigh almost 1.5 pounds. The water is somewhat compressible. The point is, it doesn't matter how much is above it, it's still going to be the same. The point that I'm making, though, or was trying to make, all right, is that you're saying there's less above you, okay? And why is there less above you? The air pressure is the same. The air pressure at Point Barrow, Alaska, is going to be the same, depending on the day and time of day, etc. But the air pressure at Point Barrow, Alaska, is going to be exactly the same. They're at sea level, say it's standard pressure, standard temperature and pressure, STP. It's going to be the same as at the equator.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me
same
answer your
everywhere.
question. Let me answer your question. I asked you, because I gave my answer, right? And you keep asking me to repeat myself, but I'm going to try this again. You tell me why now. I want to learn now. Tell me what's happening to the gold at Alaska.
He did just explain it. There's a difference in centrifugal acceleration changing the perceived gravitational acceleration.
Okay,
So
cool.
when he's saying Earth is spinning faster,
it's spinning faster on one side than it is on the other. That what you're saying?
Right, cool. So got you. So he gave his answer. I gave my answer. And the people can decide what's the best answer.
Well,
now we can move on.
No, hold on. So the only way you can say that is if you're at a higher elevation there at Point Barrow, in which case the water's not level.
I'm not saying you at a higher elevation. That's why I'm not gonna keep on arguing with y'all. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, you just said.
Listen, let me show you what I said. Let me show you what I said. I'm gonna repeat it right here so we won't have no problem.
You just said when you go north, you go up.
No, I got it. Nope, that ain't what's happening at Alaska though. Alaska ain't the North Pole to us. Why are you trying to make my stop, man? Let me talk. Stop, bro. It's getting crazy. You're trying to make my model up instead of going by what I told you. You're picking around. You gave an answer. I gave an answer. That's it. The people can judge those answers, but you're not gonna put words in my mouth. I didn't say you going up at Alaska. I said you only began to rise in elevation right here where my mouse is. This little black dot right here represents my pyramid. You taking your first step up this pyramid right there at that black dot. Anything outside of that black dot, you still is on a level Earth. I don't understand that. If you look at the model that I'm showing, it backs me up. It says that everything outside of this pyramid is part of the level Earth around you. I'm pulling up 2 models. You ain't gonna keep acting like no. This is what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna keep going back and forth. You can say, well, it still don't make sense because
I unmuted myself.
The only way my shit don't make sense is if you don't agree that more things stacked upon you will cause more experience of pressure in the case of the ocean and all that. Now, look, I gave you my best answer. It ain't gonna change. What is changing is a person that's misinterpreting what I said, and now I gotta keep repeating myself to clarify my stance because I didn't say Alaska was a rise in elevation. He's trying to do that.
All right, bro. Let me ask you a question based, to expand on all of this. Okay, there is another circumstance where there is a change in weight. Okay, if you travel from west to east, you weigh less than when you travel from east to west. All right, this is called the Eotvos effect. All right. So, and this is, a measured effect. In fact, a friend of mine, Wolfie, did an experiment measuring this on a plane going east to west and west to east. So basically, the explanation for that on the globe is if you are traveling with the Earth's rotation, then you are adding to the centrifugal acceleration, which will make you weigh even less. If you are going against the Earth's rotation, you are decreasing the centrifugal acceleration, which means there's more gravitational acceleration, so you weigh more. So that's the explanation on our model for why if you go one... Wait, let me finish. That's the explanation on the globe model for why you weigh more traveling to the east than the west. What is the explanation on your model for why there is a difference in weight based on the direction you are traveling?
That's why I was trying to interject, because I don't want to answer that yet before I clarify something, just so I be sure. You're basically explaining the upstream, downstream thing, and where you're going against the current or with the current. We get it. So you're using that in relation to the gold example, just for clarity, right?
Yeah, anything. But the point is that when you travel a certain direction, if you've got that kilogram of gold and you are traveling to the east with the Earth's rotation, then you weigh less than if you were traveling. The gold would weigh less than if it was traveling in the opposite direction. There is an explanation for that on the globe that works 100%. So what is...
You gave the explanation.
Yeah, so what is your explanation for that on your model?
I want to actually question the whole validity. Hold on, let me say this, guys. We don't need all that, please. It don't help. This is what I want to say, y'all. What I learned to do is speak only with what I know. Until I do that experiment and travel, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna assume that I'm on the globe, and this gonna be a promise. Y'all gonna see I'm gonna keep this promise. I'm gonna do this experiment. I'm gonna assume that I'm on a globe. I'm gonna travel east to west. I'm gonna get me a couple of little grams of gold. We're gonna test this thing east to west and then west to east. But until I do a test like that, I feel like I'm gonna make my argument too, by the way, Craig. Don't think I'm running from the argument. What I'm doing, I'm gonna speculate and guess because I didn't do that.
Gonna make a bunch of shit up. Ready?
Sure that that's true.
Word salad on the way. Get ready.
He said he's about to do an experiment or somebody he know that's about to do it. Salutes to them. That's what it's about. I'm gonna get out there and do it myself. Now, once we can prove legitimately that that's what's happening, then we got to explain it on each of our models. Now, we don't got to do that before we can give an explanation. So let me give my explanation. Now, that being said, my explanation based on me not doing that, again, is just me kind of speculating on a phenomena that may or may not exist.
It does.
So on a flat earth, if let's just say that, because he's talking about the upstream, downstream going against the current, that was talking about the circulation of the heavens, for example. If all of the atmosphere is going clockwise on a flat earth, if all of the air on a flat earth above the flat plane is being stirred up clockwise, right, and you start traveling clockwise, you'll experience less pushback, more of a flow, like you floating like with a lazy river, right? And if on a flat earth, if you're in the air and you're going counterclockwise, but the atmosphere is still going clockwise, you're gonna get the same phenomena Craig said, where pushback, you going against the current. Now let me blend my plane, though. I bet you somebody gonna try to interrupt, and I'm gonna tell you why they like to do that before I can land my plane. Every time, guys, they ask me something, I explain it perfectly and simple on a flat earth model. Or if you got a circle down here and the sky's turned this way, I can create the same thing he just said on my model. Drop a one in the chat if I didn't just do that. Because some things we don't got to complicate. We can just say, okay, and move to the next damn argument. It works on yours, works on mine, if you will. I can create the same situation, but, you know, that ain't what often happens. I got to be wrong about everything. That's when you know there's no honesty there. And one of his folks came up and called me dishonest.
Right. Okay. I that's your explanation. I'd love to see more data to support that, but that's your explanation. Cool. Right. There's someone waiting to talk who is actually a professor that has put something on the moon, and he'd love to ask you a question.
I don't believe none of that. But he can talk though.
Could Professor Phil Bell be unmuted, please?
Yeah, we don't respect everyone's equal on this panel. We don't respect no credentials. We all the same. But
No, I'm just saying he physically put something on the moon, so he would love to.
We don't believe. I don't believe that though. I got the right to say I think it's. I don't believe he did it. And,
I mean, so you're calling him a liar? That's not very nice.
Yes, and he can speak though. See, that's what we're not gonna do. If he say he put something on the moon and I say I don't believe you, that don't make me a mean person. I'm exercising my right to disbelieve, to not believe something. You know what? To be fair enough, when I say that, you know what he can say? I can prove to you.
I mean, he was paid an awful lot of money to do it.
And then he can start showing me how. Now, to this guy.
I mean, he was paid an awful lot of money to do it, you know.
Money don't make nothing true. If anything, money make it more of a lie.
Can you just shut up so I can tell you?
Professor Phil Bell, right, here is Professor Phil Bell, so let him.
I'm responding to him. I will put your bogus ass in the waiting room. You put some on the moon and you ain't got your own channel to talk at. You
he does
here
have
on my damn channel.
Come on, could he ask you a question,
though? Subs than me in here, Professor.
Could he ask you a question? Is that all right? Because he
but he ain't gonna be telling me to shut up. And when me and you talking, two grown men talking, little boy.
He didn't tell you to shut up. He just asked if he could talk.
Hey man, quit goddamn holding his hand. Every man
I'm just asking, can he talk? Is that all?
Stop,
is he
I'm
allowed?
talking. Every man.
Bro, you've been complaining about people interrupting.
Holler at you, man. You gotta go.
Like
I said, I'm
talk then? Is that all right?
If you don't like the way I'm hosting it, don't do no more shows with me. Because I'm going to have military order. I'm talking and you're interrupting me. I'm trying to address my people and you won't let me do that. I asked you for a second to talk to my chat room to address the people.
Okay.
Stop for a second. Here's what I'm saying, guys, to my chat room out there. Here's an announcement. Bringing up a person's credentials mean nothing here, and you're not wrong if you tell a person that said that they put some on the moon that they didn't. At that point, you challenging them to a debate where they got the equal
you're just
ground
calling them a liar.
that they did. And if they prove it, you gotta accept it. He can prove it versus say you don't tell me I'm wrong. Yep, you wrong. Prove it.
Okay, can he talk now? Is that all right?
Why you talking? Then, if you want him to talk. Professor, I'm addressing him.
I'm ready.
Yep. All right, okay. Professor Phil Bell, nice to speak to you, buddy. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, finally. All right, so, Bro Sanchez, can you please put your model back up?
I don't have, which one?
Which fancy one that you had with the pyramid in the middle of it.
Okay, that's not mine. That's the Mayan cosmology.
It's the one you follow, don't you?
Can two men talk uninterrupted?
Okay, thank you. All right, so the equator, where is that on this model?
Okay, let me go back. I think I still got it up. Here we go. Let me load this up for you. I'll pull it up for you. No problem. We just had it up a minute ago, and I'll leave it up. The equator on this mod. I just did the whole sun path, Tropic of Cancer and all that, but we can go and pull it back up. Damn. Hold on for a second.
You can just put the Mayan one up there. You can just give me a rough estimate.
But this one here really got it marked all out. But I'll give you a rough estimate then.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for a rough estimate on your Mayan one.
No problem. No problem.
So
all right, so the equator in this model would be the middle point. What right? You got the middle of a circle being the pyramid. No. You got the outer of the circle being this Taurus wall or whatever. So the middle point in between them both, that'll basically be your equator line.
Fair
right
enough.
there, if you will.
Okay, perfect. So the point was that you weigh less at the equator, okay? And you weigh more at the South Pole at the south. In your case, you don't have a pole.
Well,
but you,
well, that wasn't his point. That's your point. You the first one made that point.
I'm telling you. I'm just giving you facts. Okay.
I don't know because y'all ain't all on the same page. Your other guy said it
Is it
different.
okay if I talk now?
Hold on. I need clarity. I get your argument. It's only going to take 5 seconds because I'm confused. I'm saying, are you admitting that you don't agree with those other guys? You're making your own argument. I just need clarity.
I'm the physicist in this place. Okay.
Okay, so there you go. Then he's saying y'all were wrong. Cool.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here you go.
No,
you weigh less. You weigh less at the equator. You weigh more at the South Pole, and you weigh more at the North Pole. Now, let's have a look at your model. There's definitely more. In your model, there's more gas above you at the North Pole, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that would. If you're on the ground, right? Because you know, if you elevate, then you shorten the gap.
Then how do you resolve the fact that you weigh more at the edge of your model, where there's practically no air above you?
Okay, so where would be the edge? Would be let me just clarify. You saying the edge right here where my mouse is going around?
Yeah, you know, like where Antarctica would be. Yeah.
Okay, you're saying things way more there. All right,
Absolutely.
So earlier, cool, let me answer you. Earlier, I debated a bunch of globalists that was adamant about it being the opposite of what you're saying, but now we're getting the physics wrong. Hold on, right, and that's what I want to prove, y'all, that I've been winning this debate.
I said the same as him.
So hold on, wait, no. He just said they're wrong. So to everybody that said that, that's who we talking about. If the shoe don't fit you, don't put it on. Don't.
No one here tonight said that though.
Oh yeah. That's
hey, bro, Sanchez, can I hop in?
Hold up, Rob. I want to put on the record that the physicists came on to correct the globalists that said
he didn't. He agreed.
And I was debating
your misinterpretation.
Yo. Check this out, y'all. I'm gonna call
correct them at all.
Hold on. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Please stop interrupting me, as I'm gonna have to just end the show because it's getting exhausting. I'm talking. We ain't
stop misinterrupting. Stop misinterpreting people.
Let me get you up out of here, man. Because that man, the physicist out his mouth told them they was wrong. I never told them they was wrong. The physicists came and said they're wrong, and y'all giving me more smoke than him. That's how I know you trolling, man. Get up out of here, dude. You're not welcome here no more, CJS. You're blocked. Because I don't have no time for that amount of troll nitpicky behavior. Now the physicists obviously came up here and corrected them or said something other than what they were saying or felt like what they said needed to be reinforcement because it lacked something. He said out of his mouth they were wrong.
Can I continue now?
I thought you had all. I thought you were done, man.
No, definitely not. Not even close.
You asked me a question. I was answering you though. We
yeah,
can
good.
rewind the tape.
We can go backwards and forth. That doesn't mean I'm finished.
No, you're not gonna say I just interrupted you when I was answering.
I didn't say you interrupted me.
Oh,
I just said,
Go ahead.
I just asked your permission to carry on.
Oh yeah, take your time. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, now one of the other things we notice about our atmosphere is only about 30 kilometers thick. The rest of it, about more than 99% of it, only reaches 30 kilometers. Okay, the rest of the 1% is above 30 kilometers. In fact, 99.97% of it only reaches 100 kilometers. So there's practically nothing beyond that. That's how far. Now let's have a look at your model here. Now, whereabouts is 30 kilometers in your model over here?
I must say this, I have not measured the atmosphere at all in my model, and I'm not basing none of my claims on specific measurements. I would also say that there's very few globalists that I've debated who made their own measurements too. So what the globalists do got is a science team that says they've made the measurements for the globalists. I don't have that team. So my thing is this right here. Don't hold me to no specific measurements because all of the measurements always changing on a globe. There's no specific measurements even on a globe. If we look at the history of heliocentrism from the beginning to now, there have been drastic changes to this thing. It's been a mutation. So we ain't gonna really make an argument based on no specifics, which is why I can win debates without asking for specific numbers, because in a scientific method, the first step is observation. If you can't make an observation and make an argument and a claim based on that, you missed the first step, because you already thought you was at the last step with equations and numbers and specifics, when that shit changes every year in science.
Can I carry on now?
Hey, I'd like to make a point about flat Earth.
Very quickly, please.
Numbers.
I've only got, I'm nearly there, right? And I've got to go. All right. Now, the 30 kilometers that we're talking about, that the atmosphere gets up to, which most of it, more than 99% of it. Now, let's have a look at the edge of this this dome that all the flat earthers seem to say we have. Obviously, at the edge of that dome, there must also be a gap of where the atmosphere only reaches 30 kilometers. So are you suggesting that right next to the dome around here at this point, right near at Antarctica at the ground level, there's no air?
No, what do you mean? How did I suggest that?
Well, I mean, the atmosphere goes all around. If I stand anywhere in Antarctica, the atmosphere is still going to be 30 kilometers.
Let me ask you a quick question. Doesn't the ground rise and drop in elevations?
Of course.
So that would dictate. So even though the atmosphere go all the way around, if you rise up and you go, if you go to the top of the Las Vegas, the stratosphere, for example, you can damn near start to feel your ears pop just doing that. I'm just saying, like, these layers of the atmosphere are like breaking the surface of the water after you dive in. And you can rise above some of those layers based upon the elevations of the ground, even though the atmosphere is consistent all the way around, like you're saying. That's the point. So
okay, so
the ground can lift you up and decrease the gap in between those layers. Simple.
The things that are on the ground are irrelevant to the height. The height of the atmosphere is the same everywhere.
I know that,
Close enough
but
to
the
be same
ground
everywhere.
isn't though. But the ground isn't
It
though.
doesn't
So
matter about the ground.
That would matter. But listen, let me show you why that matter. That matter because let's say that a person is standing right here. It is more of the dome above them than a person standing on top of here. Now, a person would say, wait a minute, if they at the middle, that should be more sky. Nope, because the ground is rising. We can lift this pyramid all the way up and they can literally be touching this part, and that won't be a lot of layers of atmosphere pressing down on them like a person surfacing in the ocean. He will rise up above those layers, not because the atmosphere changed, but because there was elevation on the ground. So if you don't understand how
I don't need you to explain very obvious things.
It seems as if you do.
All I want you to do is to explain to you. See, at the edge, at the very edge where Antarctica is, right near the ground, there'll be a gap because the gap is all consistently all around, right 30 kilometers above everywhere.
Antarctica, right?
Yeah, above Antarctica, 30 kilometers above Antarctica, most of the atmosphere exists.
Let me pull up this map real quick. If we look at the ice ring, he's saying that this ice ring is basically the atmosphere all around this ice ring is consistently the same, correct?
Yes.
And you saying, I'm just trying to ask you, can you now make your point now that I understand exactly what you're saying?
Okay, good. All right. So what I'm saying is that everywhere around here is the atmosphere is 30 kilometers high. Okay, that's 99% of it. More than 99% of it is just 30 kilometers high. Okay, everywhere around it. Now let's put a solid barrier around it. Okay. All right. So now imagine there's a solid barrier all around that. Okay. And around here, the 30 kilometers goes all around. So the 30 kilometers is going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. It's like the 30 kilometers is like a dome around the Earth.
I agree with that.
Okay, it's like a dome around the Earth. All right. So your argument was that if you're in the middle, there'll be more air on top of your head if you're in the middle. But if you're on the edge, there's not more air above your head, and yet you weigh more.
Hey, look, now check this out, right? Here's a way to look at that. There are models where when you get toward the edge here, it drops down like a fountain. So what you have is a sort of, think about what's happening here, what you're saying here with Antarctica. Let's go back to it. This Antarctic ice shelf, for all that we know, when we leave the center of this circle and we're going toward the outer, we can be on a very, very minute decline, right? That can be one way of explaining that. Another way of explaining that would be that, and then keep in mind, we can't, hold on, one thing. I don't think that we can be sure also that, because he's making this argument to the gold argument earlier. He's saying
the water's
that,
declining, is it?
What you say?
The water is declining, as you say. It's like going down a hill.
At some point.
And the water's doing that as well, is it?
Well, let me show you this. Watch this. Watch this. Because at some point, and I want to give you an idea of what that point is, though. You're right. I'm saying that, but I'm not just a immediate decline. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I got different slides to show. I'm loading it up now. So, like,
the water goes downhill.
I'm about to show you.
Okay.
At some point, right? At some point, the water will flow downward. Let's just take, for example, this water fountain right here. So at some point, let's just say this is our Earth, this little circle of water right here on this top pot. And that the ice ring is the rim of this pot. I'm saying there's a possibility, yeah, that at some point, boom, the water could flow, start to flow downward as well. Or that can be the path of the Taurus field and all that. But the point that I want to make, and I'm going to pass the mic, you're saying all around this ice ring, the gold gonna weigh the same consistently, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm saying that ain't been proven, and I disagree with that because hear me out, because some of these ice shelves are lower and higher. It ain't just one big perfect ice chunk like this. It's higher and lower elevations in this thing. It ain't just that perfect. So that would change something too. Also, I want to point something out to everybody. This is my last liner. He's admitting that an ice ring surround the whole world. He's actually justifying. You saying that the gold weigh the same all around this ice ring?
Yeah, not your version of it. My version of it.
Give me your version of it. Give me your version of that ring.
Sure.
And then make it make sense on your version, like I did with mine earlier.
Sure,
With the ones that you, because listen, let's say you right. That mean out of all the globalists that came up, the professor had to come up and tell y'all think, because listen, I got it on record. They
no one here said anything different to him.
Hold on. See how he keep cutting in? You see how
I haven't said anything in a long time. That's the first thing I've said.
I know it because you hate where I'm going. I know why that triggered you, and I'm finna show him why, y'all.
No, I just want to clarify that during this stream, no one has said a different thing to the professor. That's it. We've said the same thing as the professor.
You clarified it. Now, guess what? I'm gonna say you're a goddamn lie. You haven't
fuck
said
you.
what the professor said. He wouldn't have to come up here and repeat it if you damn said it.
We've said the same thing as him. It's not my fault if you don't understand words, is it?
They're wrong. We heard it. You know what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, he said they were wrong if they said that, but no one here has said
We're not gonna
that.
let y'all deny it.
Yeah,
When
yeah, he said that we were wrong if they said that.
Let me finish. When
Wait,
he
no, you
said
don't get
they
to
were
call me a
wrong-
fucking liar and then just cut me off. No, don't do that. Come on, man. No, give me the chance to respond if you're going to say that. If you're going to say that to me, give me the chance to respond. Come on, give me the chance to respond. Be an adult, let me respond. No, he's kicked me out. Fucking baby.
I don't email Fight the Flat Earth for debates.
Come on, be fair and let me respond. See, he can. He's too much of a baby to let me respond because he called me a liar. Yep, so that's it. I've been booted because he was too scared to actually let me speak. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, what turned into him showing how much of a child he is. Nobody that watches this could think that I was anything but polite and respectful for the entire debate, right? I tried so fucking hard to be respectful, but he is not respectful in the slightest. Oh, no, he's letting me back in.
Is that a wall? That's not a wall.
Okay, am I allowed to talk now?
Man, the professor's talking. No one was talking to you to begin with, though.
I get to respond the fact you called me a liar, though. I'm going to do that
You're
before we move on.
You feminine, too. You like a woman, dude.
Hey, come on. You don't get to say that and then just mute me. It's not fair.
Man, bro,
Give
I
me
will
a
say that and
chance.
kick you up off my show.
Oh, if you want to run away, bro, that's fine. But you don't get to call me a liar and then just not let me respond.
I came here to debate. I can call you a liar and then you can...
Well, let me fucking respond then. If you want to debate, let me respond.
But I wasn't talking to you when I said a liar.
Yeah, you were. You directly called me a liar to my face.
I was saying that the globalist was that was a dude I was debating. That was
you said directly to me just now that I'm a liar. Those were the words that came out of your mouth. So let me respond.
Listen,
be an adult and let me respond. He can. He can. Too much of a coward. He just literally lied about calling me a liar. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get back in. But I don't think I can now. No, he's removed me from the meeting, so I can't join. Let me back in to respond. I've been nothing but respectful this whole time. Then you call me a liar and won't let me respond. Please be an adult. Yeah, that's it. I've been booted. He freaked out because he called me a liar and I'm not allowed to respond to being called a liar. Nobody in that stream said anything different to what Professor Bell said. Craig should shut up and let Phil Bell speak. I had been, but I wanted to respond to the thing that I was called. Nothing wrong with that. Oh my goodness. Like, he literally... He's such a baby. I've had to tread on eggshells through this entire conversation because he is such a little fucking baby and a coward. He runs away. Fucking oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna be here for like the next hour reading super chats because you guys obviously don't want me to go to bed. You've sent me so many. Yeah, you're right. You can't disagree with him. Please go over to his stream and tell him to let me back in, and that I should get the chance to respond to the things that have been said to me. In fact, here you go. As many as possible, go and join that Zoom call and tell him to let me back in, and that I should have the right to respond to being called a liar. Because he's a coward otherwise. But I'll wait to see if he lets me back in. If not, I'll read some super chats and maybe go to bed at some point. Oh, all right. Seriously, right? Be honest with. I'm gonna do a poll, right? Have I been well behaved and respectful? Alright, I want you guys to be honest. Respectful for this debate. Alright, take into account if I've given them time to talk, if I've interrupted, you know, if I've been angry or raged at any time. I would like you to honestly answer this question, okay? And then we'll see what it says. So, have I been well behaved and respectful in this debate? And also, yeah. There's the Zoom call. Please flood it and tell him to let me back in. Right, Tomato Chan, Zoomity the Zoomy, Zoomington Zoomer, lots of Zs, not Z, Z, who is a Scrappers member for 12 months, once around the sun, says, don't worry, I paid the gravity bill, you are welcome. Good job, because no gravity is a bad thing. Right. 151 votes, no 5% so far, so that's like 10 people think that I wasn't well behaved. If you think I wasn't well behaved, please say why in the chat. Specifically, tell me exactly why I wasn't well behaved and tell me when I was disrespectful. Please, thank you, and very much. Rocket Crouch, to be honest, there were moments I forgot you're on the stream. That's how much you held back. I know. I was trying to be so good. Anyway, Skidmark McGee 4.99, thank you very much, dollars, says, I know this is off topic, but last night you all were talking about Hovind and apparently he's in trouble for playing strip poker with underage boys. Ugh. That's gross. That's not an image I want in my head. Siggy Sigwald, $20, thank you very much. Brother Sanchez, or how to be factually and factually wrong about everything is still hilarious. Siggy with Sigwald with also, thank you very much for this, gifted 50 memberships. 50 memberships. So if you have randomly during this stream become a member, it's most likely thanks to Ziggy Sigwald. Thank you very much, Ziggy. Caucasian Sensation for $20 says, tangential velocity for dummies if you're in space, free of Earth's atmosphere, and you are stationary, observing one marking on the Earth's surface at the equator, hit that with a radar, and that is tangential velocity. Yeah, they don't understand any of those words, just so you know. So what we got, 215 votes is still 95%. Yes, I was well behaved, 5% no. Jeff Stucco Rikers for $5 says, so Craig, winky face, looking to change from Whitsitt to Sanchez for your nomination. No, Whitsitt still gets it. Sanchez is just a fucking child. Jake Surgeon for $5 says, ancient people also thought air was an immaterial substance. Yeah, ancient people aren't here anymore. That's why we don't listen to them about science. Lord Illuminous Pooh, $10 says, for hack nuggets, for Foley Huck Nuggets, Oily Josh is the most high, and the most high is Polaris Muck. Yeah. There's a lot of fucking shite that guy said. Let's see if he's emailed me. No. He's banned me. That's it. I think my streams with Sanchez are over. Lord Luminous Pooh for $5 says, Jesus is the Hebrew Josh and Christ means the anointed one. So yes, his real name is Oily Josh. Good day. Fair point. Siggy Sigweld for 450 ARSs. Thank you very much. How is this so difficult to understand? I can't comprehend how idiot you have to be to not get tangential versus rotational velocity. They're denser than Sirius B. Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy G for $6.99 Canadian dollars says, please settle this question once and for all. Are we in YouTube right now or are we on YouTube? Asking for a friend. Keep up the great work. You're definitely in YouTube. This has to be AI generated. None of what's happened tonight can be real. Please tell me that was an AI generated interaction I've just had. Please. If anyone's still over there, can you tell me what's going on? Just seeing, no one's really told me why I was not well behaved. You weren't disrespectful, but I voted no because you could just take a backseat for a second and not need to litigate something just for the sake of having the conversation. I mean, I'd been taking a backseat and I had said one thing and he called me a liar and muted me. I felt like I should have the chance to respond to that, but no. Jimmy G for $6.99. Oh no, Richard read that one. Pat in the chat, $5. Hey bro Sanchez, if I have blood in my stool, should I see a cardio? The digestive bone's connected to the cardiovascular bone. Siggy Sigwell, $20. I wish they could stick to a single point instead of jumping all over the place every time someone corners them. Yeah, this Flerfs, they have to scattergun and then reset. It's just how they work. Adrenochrome Slurper, €2. No message, thank you very much. Jeff Stucco Rikers for $5 says, yo Craig, you better have brought enough of that juice for the whole class. This hurts my head. No, this is my precious vape juice that I made myself. I need it. Smoked quite a lot during this debate, to be honest. Design Song 1 for $5. Ask Sanchez what's wrong and then talk science for 5 minutes yet. Seriously, play that debate back and see how long he fucking talked for, right? And then how long I talked for before I got interrupted. Yeah, Joe Black, you're right. Sanchez just thinks he wins all the time. I'll check the email again. Nope, nothing. PhD Tony, $10 Australian. How do your guests explain gravitational tides in the atmosphere and the solid Earth? How do they explain the fact that we use gravity to detect subsurface mineral deposits? They don't. They cry and mute me and block me. That's what they do. Anna Marju for $5 says, have you seen a blood vial sitting in a rack? Cells settle down and plasma goes up. Then we have the centrifugal machine doing it sideways, more force. Yes, matter reacts to forces. That's why the Earth's a sphere, because of gravity. Judy Bassett for €6 says, do the gases in the atmosphere form in different layers? At what elevation is oxygen? I know, because if the gases in the atmosphere organize themselves based on density, we'd all be suffocating with carbon dioxide. That's not good. What are we at? 272 votes. Have I been well behaved and respectful for this debate? 94% yes, 6% no. There's 600 watching, so make sure you vote in the poll. Henrik Danielson for 50 sex. I like all the sex, thank you. Says, I nominate Sanchez to leftmost on the DK scale. He talks too much to even listen and learn enough to get up the hump. Globe Explained, €10 says, please ask this nice guy why the blood flows into his head when he does a headstand. Is it perhaps because his brain has a lower density than the surrounding air? What fucking brain? Now, Sanchez, he doesn't deserve a top left vote. He's just a baby. Valorant Q for $2 says, ask him if he's ever climbed a mountain. He thinks going north is raising an elevation, so... and then another $2 message retracted, thank you. Oh my god. There's so many super chats. You guys are fucking insane. You honestly don't know how much the support you give me means, and like, you know, I would like to go to bed, but I'm going to read all your super chats, and you keep sending more, so maybe I won't get to go to bed. It blows my mind the amount of support you give me. There was like 800 people watching tonight. I think it tops like 840. I've got 70 new members. I've got so many super chats. I love you. I love you all. Thank you so much. Pat in the chat, $5. Hey, Bro Sanchez to quote Travis Kelce, you should know your role and shut your mouth. They don't know how to shut up. Albeus for $5 says, I'm a Canadian. I've been far north into the Yukon. I don't need oxygen. Pressure was normal. Brother Sanchez, you're wrong. Yeah, his tombstone will just be, I was wrong. Craig's muted. Siggy Sigweld, $5 says, Craig, please donate part of the super chats to Bro Sanchez. He can get a dictionary. 99% of his issue is not understanding what words mean. Yeah, no, he's not getting any of my money. He doesn't deserve it. He's been a naughty boy. He is on Santa's naughty list for this year. Space works. Science works. €2. If I'm on the call, tell him to add me. You did get to come in. Thank you very much for that. Siggy Sigwell, $10. It shows Bro Sanchez is a true believer because in order to argue against facts, he has to pretend science is the same as religion. Never heard of to quo quo. Apparently, no. He has to say that I have a belief to, back up anything he says because he's the actual one with beliefs. It's insane. 295 votes, 94% yes, 6% no. Here lies a lying idiot. Yes, Jaybird Max, you're right. Kirk B, $2. Thank you for suffering for our entertainment. Always, my friend. Tommy Gronville, 50 Nokias. Just find a photo of Anna Nicole Smith and call her your model. She wasn't flat. Very curvy. PhD Tony, only real person in the room. $5 Australian. Can you ask your guests how they achieve such legendary levels of cavernous nay science? No, I can't because they booted me out because he's a baby. Siggy Sigwald, $5 says, has he ever been to Scotland? How does he know it even exists? I know. I'm not real. I'm in Scotland. It's all computer generated. Tommy Gronville, 20 Nokias. His mouth needs an enema. Blackburn Big Dragon. Obviously, Craig, you were so out of control. Yeah. I was really out of control during that whole stream. I didn't, hold myself back constantly on purpose. No, not at all. Albert for $5 Canadian says, can Bro Sanchez see the back of his empty head? How does he know it's there? Exactly. I've never seen his brain. It definitely doesn't exist. Charlie Welch, $2. For fuck's sake, a globalist has zero to do with the globe. They have to just find a way to insult us, don't they? Alamaju for $2. Where are comets coming from? Magical places. Perth, member for 1 year, once around the sun, says water is still curved on a flat earth because of tides. Yeah. Flat earthers don't understand this, but listen, come closer. Closer. No, even closer. Water's never flat. You fucking idiots. Alamarju for $2. Is the water or North Pole going up? North, not flat. I know. He thinks there's a massive mountain at the North Pole. Why? Oh, why are we timing out Gary Bot? Right. I know it's tempting, but the bot I programmed, Gary, unless it's like going on some kind of abusive loop where you're being really mean and stuff, try not to time it out just for being annoying. I will get better at programming, but there's a reason the Gary bot sucks is because I'm not very good at programming AI. String News 1, $2 says, thanks FTFE for showing more on flat earthers. No worries, mate. Siggy Sigweld, 20 gifts. So Siggy gave 70 gifts. 70 members. 70 people watching today became a member of the channel thanks to Siggy. That means you get to use the awesome emotes and you get your cool green icon and it shows up when you leave comments and stuff. So thank you very much to Siggy for making 70 new members on the channel tonight. And then another 900 ARS, more memberships. Need more memberships. Thank you, Ziggy. Oh, you're blowing my mind, mate. Thank you. Stringer News 1 for $2 says, be like the wolf, bro. Yes. There are 2 wolves inside of you. That's a problem. There shouldn't be 2 wolves inside of you. See a doctor. Design Song 1 for $5 says, Sanchez, it's flat. Unless you got measurements, then I'll take that. Yeah. Well done, Toon. Toon managed to get booted out so quickly. That was an excellent rage quit attempt from Toon there. He got rage quitted by Brother Sanchez in like less than 5 minutes. That was impressive. Then we've got Pat in the chat for $5. FTFE, what's higher, you or the elevation of sea level at the North Pole? Let's see how high I can get. I'm pretty high. I have to be to do this. Paul Stewart, who, this is his first super chat. So Paul Stewart, thank you very much for your $2, and thank you for popping your super chat cherry on my channel. That is amazing. Paul Stewart is also the name of the first 2 names of my dad, funnily enough. Is that you, Dad? I'm not even lying. Paul Stewart, that's his name. But you don't look like him based on your icon. I'm pretty sure that's not you, Dad. But hi, Paul Stewart, and thank you for giving me your first super chat. Crazy CJ 123456 for $50 American dollars. Thank you very much. Sanchez, dishonest or Poe, cries about race the moment he is called out for his dishonesty. Says North, you go up an elevation level, but water is flat, same level, so oceans makes no sense. He either ignores that or knows he just makes stuff up. Dishonest, liar, child. That's how I would describe Brother Sanchez. Not emailing me back. I hope Phil Bell's sorting him out over there. Alison for $5 Australian says, why do even the simplest of navigational techniques such as calculating our flight distances require us to account for the globe? Well, it's simple, Alison, because the Earth's a fecking globe, mate. So thank you. Yes, he's a pilot. He knows what he's talking about. James Hogarth, who did an amazing job making Bro Sanchez trip over himself, for £5 says, thanks for bringing me in. It's fun to stay within his model and see it all fall down over a simple thing like globe symmetry failing on a disc. I know. He didn't understand why his own argument destroys it, because it doesn't match reality. Albeus for $2 Canadian says, no mountains at the North Pole. None. No, there is no massive mountains at the North Pole, especially not one right in the fucking centre. So, also, he doesn't know what a model is. Siggy Sigwell, $5. I saw him typing something in a cup for a sec, and I thought he was looking for 2 girls and a cup. Don't Google it if you don't know what it is. Yeah, don't ever Google 2 girls, 1 cup. I'm telling you, the majority of my audience is around my age, so you'll know. But for any younger people here that may have never come across, don't, and I'm saying this again, do not Google 2 girls, 1 cup. I'm serious. Don't do it. I'm telling you. I'm not joking. Don't do it. You will regret this. No, look. You opened a tab. You opened another tab and you Google it. It's not even an incognito. Just don't. I warned you. Lord Luminous Proof $2 says, can someone fix this record? I think it's repeating. Yeah, it's stuck, definitely. Shovelhead Steve for $2 says, Bro Sanchez equals moron. Don't be mean to morons. Rachbot, my favourite AI, for $10 Australian says, stupidity is not a right. It's definitely fucking not. It's a shame that so many people take it as one. Stringer's one $2 says, credentials mean nothing when you have none. Yeah. Doesn't matter that Professor Phil Bell literally put something on the moon. I mean, crashed something into the moon. You know, that means fucking nothing. They're allowed to call people a liar, but we're not allowed to respond to being called a liar. JGman26454 $99 says, I'm not basing my claim on measurements. No, you're basing your claim on fucking nonsense because you're a moron. Anton Dovaya Datius for $2 says, where are your measurements, Sanchez? He has none. No flat earther ever has. Crazy CJ 123456 for $5 says, Craig, call him out even if it's a video. Please call out Sanchez for every time he lies and misinterprets what others say in these streams. He lies. Yes. Well, if that is indeed the final time that Sanchez will let me talk to him, I think it may be because I triggered him again. Then I will be doing his episode of Flerfs are Idiots and obviously include all the times that he has lied. So thank you. Mr. Q Tube first name $5 bro. Oh, I skipped. Oh, there's so many. Oh my god. Bro, when you say someone's trolling you, do you mean debunking your nonsense? Yeah. Anyone that comes on and disagrees with him is trolling. That's right. Sorry, I need a bit of juice. Siggy Sigweld for $10. Siggy, you've given an amazing amount of support tonight, mate. Thank you very much. For $10 says, he keeps making claims without any supporting evidence and then admits it, but will not allow anyone to make a point, nor will honestly consider it no matter what. The hubris and dishonesty, for fuck's sake. Yeah. I walked on eggshells tonight on purpose because I just wanted them to do the derping. And they did it so fucking well. Apart from the guys from my side, you all did excellent, of course. Argent Ant upgraded his membership to Brawlers. Thank you very much, my friend. Samuel Green for $10 says, you're a beautiful man. Keep fighting. Beautiful man. I do try. I put lots of makeup on every single day, obviously. No. I don't see beautiful when I look in the mirror. But thank you very much. I appreciate the support. For some reason, my wife married me, so she must not mind looking at this. Maybe she's got really bad eyesight. Possibly. Pat in the chat for $2. I've eaten apples with thicker skin than Sanchez. Eggshells, like I said. Burrogaman for $199 says, new contestant for top left. We've got the nominations for this year. Maybe he will be on the docket for next year's. In fact, I think it's a shoo-in, he will be. Tomato Chan, Zoomity the Zoomy Zoomington Zoomer for $2 says, top left is the only thing Witsit will ever get. Witsit will win top left this year. I'm going to fucking make sure of it. Tommy Grunfeld 20 Nokia says, no gravity was hurt in this episode. No, but apparently Bro Sanchez's feelings were. Skyclad Observer for $5. Nothing says totally not triggered like booting the meanie meanhead for hurting your fifis. I'm such a meanie poo-poo head. Wiener Helm $10. Stay chill, my friend. If you re-engage Sanchez, we're worried about your health. My health is much better at the moment, guys. Thank you very much. I'm pretty much back to where I was. So thank you for your kind words and your thoughts for me. Toads in My Eyes member for 1 month says, please do a video of all the Globe speakers saying what Dr. Bell said and then Bro being confused, being mad and then banning you. Yeah, absolutely 100%. That needs to happen. Maybe as a short, actually. Yeah. If anyone would like to clip just times when we all said the same thing that Bro Sanchez said and send them to me by email or something, I'd really appreciate it. Earthrise for $5. There was one mistake that blew it all. One of your guys agreed with him when he said it backward. I tried to warn you. Right. Maybe there was one Globy that Globy, even I'm saying it. Maybe there was one, sane person who said it backwards by accident, but yeah. We all said what he said, pretty much. Adria Bell, member for 29 months. Jesus Christ, that is a long time. Thank you very much. You park a plane between Sanchez's ears. Yeah, Boeing 747 as well. Steve6464 for $5 says, FTFE, you could have stopped the stream after a grown man asked you if the poles you were talking about were poles in the ground. I know. That fucking broke me. Tommy Gronville 20 Nokia says, go make a prediction, Gary. Unfortunately, the Gary bot doesn't have the intellectual ability to make predictions. It's not something I programmed in. Argent Ant, member for 13 months, says, that boy loves the banhammer. Complete child. P.S. Update my name in the ticker. I'm far too old to be a ninja now. Yeah, the ticker will be updated. Well, tomorrow, actually. I've got some time set aside to do all my admin and stuff. So, the recent 70 members will get added to this as well. And I've had a bunch of Patreon as well recently, so it'll all be updated. Thank you very much. Albius for $2 Canadian says, Bro Sanchez initials are BS for a reason. Daniel Seamister for $1.99 says, do they have images of the dome? Is it solid? No, it's ethereal, apparently. Whatever the fuck that means. Oh, 9% of you thought that I wasn't well behaved. I'm guessing you're either joking or you're flat earthers. But, you know, 91% of you realized that I was well behaved. Janosch Takos, member for 9 months, says, when I saw the Mayan Flerf model, my head started spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah, that's not a model, Sanchez. That's a picture with a giant fucking pyramid in the middle. If you haven't voted in the poll, please vote in the poll. By the time I finish reading the super chats, I will end the poll, and the results of the poll will decide what actually happened. So if you, there's still 550 watching. If you haven't voted in the poll, please vote right now. Siggy Sigweld for 900 ARSs, thank you very much, says, you deserve it all, man. I don't know if I do. Like, the amount of support I get blows my mind, and I guess sometimes I suffer from like imposter syndrome. Like, I feel like I don't deserve the amount of love that you guys give me. It honestly blows my mind every time. This is an incredibly good stream for me. Like, you don't know how much this means. Thank you. Stringer News 1 for $2 says, whatever you do, do not Google Goatsy. Yeah, still don't Google Two Girls One Cup. I know you did it. That was not my... I told you not to. Droopy Wiener, member for 24 months. That's twice around the sun. Says Flatsoid for top left. Nope. Get out. Definitely wits it. Skidmark McGee, $4.99 says, I think it's the funniest thing when Flerfs cry CGI on real images, then show a cartoon as their flat Earth. I know. No image of flat Earth has ever been anything other than CGI. And Stringer News 1, member for 35 months, says, I'm not bragging, but mine is longer. Well, I'm not going to deny it, because I've got no evidence to suggest otherwise. And Toads in My Eyes just comes in from that one for $2, says, given you are a cyborg clone, you are sus. I am definitely sus. Definitely. Guys, I've had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you for everyone who joined the stream. Thank you for everyone that has super chatted and shared the stream. If you're still over there in the stream with Bro Sanchez, please tell him that he's a coward that banned me because he called me a liar and didn't like that I wanted to respond. Flat Earth Dweller says there are high altitude balloon photos showing no curvature. No, there isn't. No high altitude balloon footage ever shows flatness if it's got a proper lens. Anyway, let's end the poll. 386 votes, right? Out of 386 votes, only 8% said that I was not well behaved and respectful. So, well, actually, Google count there, because yes, 91 and no 8 only adds up to 99. So, but let's say 92% of you realized that I was actually really well behaved. And you know how fucking hard that is for me? I'm FTFE, for God's sakes. And let's all celebrate the fact that Jaden Herr has given his first ever super chat. Jaden, thank you very much. For $5, says Sanchez is the new Nathan Oakley. By the way, my last name is pronounced Herr. Jaden Herr, thank you very much for popping your super chat cherry. You are amazing. And let's see if we can hear from Nathan Oakley.
Hi, my name is Nathan Oakley, and I have been lying to people about the Earth being flat for a lot of years. I did this to hide the fact I have a small penis.
Yep, we know, Nathan, we know. And King Ed the Fifth for $2 says, bro keeps muting me. Yeah, bro likes to mute, that's all he has. Right, guys, I've had an amazing night. 3.5 hours of derp. My brain cells need to recover. You have been incredible. The support you've given. Siggy Sigweld, 70 members from you, dude. Thank you very much. Blown my mind. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you go in fact, here, once again. That's not a prediction. That is a statement, Gary. Once again there, guys, is the link to the Zoom call. Go and tell him how much of a coward he is. And I will see you on Friday, where I'm hosting a debate between two new guys. And then on Saturday, when I go and debate Flatzoid and his crew. Whew. You know what? And tomorrow I'm going to release another debate short by Globermum. Why not? every single day you can have some FTFE content. Why not? Because, you know, I love you all. You guys are amazing. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.